There it is, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to a Friday Night Live. Now, here's the deal with everybody listening, everybody that's here. It's not the normal faces that I think, or the normal face or faces in Bailey's case that you're used to seeing. This is obviously not Serious Anglers podcast, and this is obviously not the Benjamin Nowak show. This is Alex Rudd, and I'm here. Well, we're doing something really fun tonight. We're having a three-way, and it's going to be great. A three-way stream, that is. That's what we're doing tonight, and we're gonna have some. Ben just left; he's done.
But I was out of there. I'm like, oh well, demonetized, whole channel gone.
Yeah,
his wife heard that and was like, "What?"
Yeah, hold up a second. But yeah, so here we are, man. We're gonna have a good time tonight. We are to have a very special live. It's a special occasion. We're gonna have some fun tonight. We got a really cool raffle going on to help support a really good friend of ours, which we're going to get into here in just a minute. But the main topic for tonight, and obviously the biggest draw is Benjamin's face, but the second biggest draw is the fact that we are going to be doing underrated, overrated with all the new ICAST release. And I'm kind of excited about it. This is going to be a unique underrated, overrated, because normally that type of show, it's things that we have experience with. Well, there's only a few of these products that among the three of us, we've actually had experience with on the water. So it's going to be more just of opinions, like we're going to pull up these products. We're going to see what these products are about. And we're going to give our just totally unguided, totally biased opinions on what it is. And we're going to have fun. But really and truthfully, that is just kind of, what we're doing tonight, to have fun and to make a podcast. But also, we're going to be helping a good friend of ours. So Mr. Caleb Bell, for you guys that know him, might or might not know him, and will probably know him better by his YouTube name, Bass Quest, actually got in a really bad accident at the beginning of the month. So Caleb, for you guys that don't know, in real life, like his real life job, he works on roofs. And he ended up falling off a roof, and he broke one of his femurs, broke his other leg, compound fractured his arm, blew his elbow out when he compound fractured his arm. And is there anything else that I'm missing? Because I think that's about the extent of the injuries. We could probably just tack some other stuff on there, emotional scarring and everything else. But for real, Caleb had a very traumatic accident, and Caleb is got a long road to recovery. And he's looking at months and months of PT and physical therapy and probably a couple more surgeries to get him back in a shape where he's going to be able to walk and function and do normal life. Last I heard, and we're actually going to pull Caleb in here in just a minute and talk to him about it. Last I heard, he's looking at about 8 months to actually get back on his feet. And so the fishing community has been more than gracious the past few weeks, and has raised a lot of money for Caleb. But Caleb's going to need a lot more just to help with medical bills and normal bills and travel and food and just all the expenses that come along with the fact that, number one, he's not going to be able to work for 8 months, but number two, he's had this accident. And so we are going to raise some money for our buddy tonight, and we're going to do a raffle. And this raffle is going to be really awesome because we have got a lot of really cool prizes that I'm very excited for you guys to have a chance to win. And the prizes are some pretty good ones. We've got 2 TFO rods. We've got a Berkeley bait package, including some unreleased baits, including the Slobber Knocker, which is freaking wicked. So you guys are going to be able to get your hands on a Slobber Knocker, or whoever wins is going to be able to get your hands on a Slobber Knocker before anyone else does in the general public. We have got a 3-month subscription to the Monster Bass box, and I've also got a hand-carved, custom-designed cutting board that's being supplied by the good people over at First Choice Insurance. So Matt reached out this afternoon and said, hey, I've got this really cool cutting board that I want to throw in there. And so we're giving away some really cool prizes, and we're going to be doing that in the raffle format, which we're going to get into here in just a minute. But I want to pull Caleb in here for just a minute. I want to talk to him, give him a chance to say what's up, because I know he's not feeling too hot because he had to do PT today, and I know he's feeling kind of rough. So we will talk to him for a minute and then let him be able to jump off here and rest up, and then we'll get into how you enter the raffle, and then we'll also get into underrated and overrated. But without further ado, my good friend and our good friend and the owner-operator of the Bass Quest YouTube channel, Mr. Caleb Bell. Caleb, how you doing, buddy?
What's up, dudes? I'm a little bit stuck right now.
Yeah,
You got boo-boo there, buddy.
I'm not moving around too fast these days.
No, you're cut down to dragon only now. No big swim baits, just dragon.
Oh
worms.
gosh, yeah, and cane poles.
Cane poles.
I have one working arm right now, so
I
don't do much reeling these days.
I have to say, I love the fact that I got on the phone with Caleb the other day, and the first thing that he says to me is, if I can get this other arm working, then I'll put a spinning rod in my hand and I'll be just fine. And I'm like, dude, that's the dedication.
Right.
That's the dedication right there.
I have the spinning rod in my right hand, so I just got to get that left hand reeling. And we're off to the races, boy.
Here's what we're going to do. You ever see the scene from SpongeBob with Squidward when Squidward was in the wheelchair and he just stabs the net into his hand? That's what we're going to do, and we'll just reel for you.
Yeah, there we go. Get some of those electric saltwater reels to go catch bluegill.
That's right.
Yes,
that's right.
yes, that's awesome.
But real fast, the most Caleb thing ever is the fact that you are smiling more than the other three of us here.
Yeah,
and the fact that you're on this thing, dude. I love to see it. It's good to see your face, buddy.
Dude, I'm here for it. I've been trying to keep a good attitude and stuff like that. Just, taking some time off, basically. Do some recovery, make some good life choices and stuff like that, hang out with the family, and go on from there. But
heck yeah, buddy. I'm happy to see you're seeing the positive.
That's right.
I'm just happy that he's alive, to be totally honest with you.
That's a whole long story in itself. But like the way that I fell off of that roof, like 17 feet straight to concrete, there's the way that I landed is about the only way that I could have landed without something really catastrophic happening to me. So
it's crazy, man.
Dude,
really love you.
If you don't mind, why don't you? Can you just tell the story? I mean, even if it's a bridge, just kind of tell the story of what happened.
So what happened? We were loading a bunch of big foam material off a roof. Long story short, and we're loading it onto a forklift so this guy could take it down and get it off the roof. We could take it back to the supply house or whatnot. And one of my guys that works with me, a good buddy of mine, I lifted my side, so you can imagine it's like handling a half a pallet of plywood, but really lightweight, right? So it's just awkward. And when he went to lean forward and lift that, he fell forward. And when he pushed me, I can't get around that 4 foot by 4 foot block. So I'm just like in a video game, just getting pushed right off the edge right there. And I grabbed on really hard with my right hand, actually hard enough to dent in this 18 gauge metal that was on there. And I did like a backwards Spider-Man flip somehow, and that caused me to land flat. And so my arm and my femur, on the right side hit at about the same time. So they both snapped instantly, but it stopped anything from my sternum, my ribs, my back, my neck. My head actually bounced off of this bad elbow here where it just obliterated it. It bounced off it like 3 times. So I didn't even touch the concrete with my head at all.
Dude, I can't imagine. Like, I've talked to Kylie about this. I can't imagine being on site and watching you fall off the roof and just I would have panicked. I would have, me.
Yeah. That was kind of the funny. It was not really funny part about it, but my dad was actually there, and he's seen me injured before from a car accident when I was a kid. Broke my back, my jaw, had all kinds of issues, and so. He was really freaking out. Michael was freaking out. I guess he thought he killed me. And I'm just kind of laying there on the ground, and I feel like my left hand, it feels like it's about touching my waist, and I can see it leaning this way above my head. So I know that thing is turned all the way around backwards from where it's supposed to be. And so I just told my dad, I was like, you know what? I can tell. I was like, I got a broken femur. I've got a shattered elbow, but that's about all I can feel. Nothing else.
Wow.
My head's fine, my neck's fine, chest is fine, back is fine, pelvis, because, most people land like you're jumping in the water, like you're doing a toothpick, right? And so they break their femurs and stuff like that, but they also will compress their lower spine. They will break the femur at the joint, which is a huge no-no. Alex knows that's big time recovery. Like, you're never the same after that. So, I've got really bad injuries, don't get me wrong, but it could have been just about any other way that could have gone down. Would have been a lot worse.
Jesus.
But I just stayed calm, called got them calling EMS, waited there about 20 minutes on the ground, drinking a little bit of water here and there.
Jesus.
And they got here, and you know, they were like, "Hey, we're gonna roll you," and they were gonna roll me towards my side where I have a compound fracture. I know Alex is like cringing right now. It's like, why?
Yeah.
You've got a femur. That's like the easiest bone to hold
Yeah.
on a, you know, one of those straight backs, and you're gonna roll somebody towards that arm that's just a big chunk of meat flopping off the side of their elbow. I
God.
was like, no,
God.
don't do that. Just like roll me the other way. Just like hold that femur in place, put me on the board, and roll me. Popped up, no problem. Went to the hospital, and the rest is history. That was probably, honestly, that whole experience wasn't all that bad compared to, you know, like the hospital stuff.
Good grief, dude.
So you were awake and aware during everything.
Yeah. I never did pass out or anything.
Because you're just a badass. That's why.
That's insane.
That's
dude. The amount of
hard
pain
ass.
that you had to be
Yeah,
going
that's just
through.
like, honestly, you know, I've been in situations like that before, and that's all you can do. It's like, a lot of times the way my brain works when something like that happens, it's like, well, we're here now. You know, it's just like start making the best of it.
Oh,
Dude. All right, I got one question. One question for you. How if you can remember, how quickly did you think about fishing after that?
Almost instantly. My dad and I were talking about it as I was being loaded into the ambulance. I was like, dang, this is going to be like a minute before I'm going to fish again. This sucks.
I love that.
And he was like, we'll get you a cane pole. And I was like, yeah, I can use my big jigger pole and sit here and flip mats over here on Chickamauga because they're already hitting that flip bite's good. I was like, I can get my 15-foot rod out there and start flipping.
I hate that, but I love that.
Yeah.
That's
Absolutely.
insane, dude.
Never give up, never surrender.
That's right.
That's right. Never give up, never surrender.
Who's looking after your boat?
I was just chilling at the house right now.
I know a guy. No, just kidding.
I still got a blown engine on that thing too. I was like getting ready after this job was a really big job. I was supposed to be replacing my outboard. So now I'm sitting back again. I was like, dadgummit.
Oh man.
Had it all planned out.
Well, buddy, I tell you, again, we're glad that you're alive, and that's what I told you when I talked to you on the phone the other day. I mean, we were, I know I was just, when I found out you fell, I didn't know what to think. I thought, you know, he could have broke his back, he could have broke anything, and you're lucky in a way, but also very unlucky. I mean, obviously, you've got, you know, a broken femur, you've got a shattered knee, you got a shattered elbow, and I mean, surgeries and all that, but still, you're here. And that's all that matters. And we're glad that you're
all
here.
that, you know what I mean? That's the thing. It's like nothing's really going to be that permanent other than that elbow. You know, I might have some arthritis in it and stuff like that, but I'm just going to keep after my PT. I got a really good physical therapist, and just keep after it long after I get done with PT. That'll be the key, is just really doing those exercises long into the future.
Absolutely. So tell everybody and kind of tell us, like, you know, obviously you're going to have some expenses moving into the future, and we're going to try to help you with that this evening.
Oh gosh,
what kind of tell everybody, like, you know, about the hospital experience and about kind of what you're facing and what some of your concerns are.
That's the whole thing, dude. Like, there's so much that went on there. Like, we'd have to have a separate conversation about that. I mean, it was just unbelievable, the things that were going on at that hospital that were just honestly entirely unacceptable. And now I won't say there were some really good people there that worked there, but I think from like the top down, there were some major issues that were causing a lot of people to, I mean, I had people dropping around me. Like, it was bad for like no reason and stuff. So I'll just leave it at that for right now. That was kind of the worst experience out of the whole thing. But, you know, we're back home now. Didn't go to the physical therapist, like the in-house one that they recommended. I was like, no, I'm getting out of here before I freaking keel over like everybody else that y'all got, you know?
Yeah, absolutely.
Like peacing out big time. But
absolutely.
Yeah, just trying to figure out the whole, you know, insurance situation. I've got disability insurance. I've got issues with work comp because of the way my company laid it out, and just all kinds of weird stuff. Just, you know, doing that navigating stuff that you shouldn't have to do when you're just recovering from something.
Yeah. Well, and that's what we want to help you with tonight, buddy. And that's what we're about to get into. And I'm gonna let you go, and I'm gonna let you rest. And
you can see my hand just randomly shaking. Just
doing
the bobblehead. Got the bobblehead going.
We're gonna let you go. We're gonna let you rest. We're gonna let you enjoy the show. But I wanted to just bring you in here and let everybody see your face and see that you are Is yours
Pull it
okay?
up on the big screen up there and just watch
There you
y'all
go.
hang out and
That's
talk.
Heck yeah.
There you go, man.
Love
Well,
you
buddy,
guys. Seriously, thank you
Hey,
so much.
no,
I'm
we
miss
love you,
y'all
man.
already. I'm
Yeah,
just
love
ready
you,
to
buddy.
go on a fishing trip. I'll just sit there
That's
and
right.
watch. I don't give a crap.
That's
Well,
right. That's right.
I can promise you, when you are ready, we're going somewhere. We're doing something. I don't care how
Exactly.
much it costs or what we got to do to go make it happen. We're going to make it happen. So
We're
we're
probably
doing
gonna
it.
Now-
drop some big old gizzard shad down. Is what we're gonna do.
Hey, dude, that's good with me. That's good
I
with me.
would pay heavy money to watch Rudd pulling him in like an inner tube in the Hobie.
Yes,
Just like,
yes.
Yes.
Just pull me around in one of the tournaments, and I'll just sit back there with an ice fishing pole.
Yes.
ice fishing pole and a margarita, just chilling.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Have a little flower hat on. That'd be
That's
hilarious.
right. That's
Uh,
hey,
That's a
but
jam
for
right
real,
there.
though,
Now you're talking. Now you're talking.
that's right.
That's it, man. That's it.
Hey,
Well, brother,
big-
listen, man. We love you. I love you. I know we all love you, man. I'm glad you're alive, and I'm glad you took a second to come in here and say hi.
Absolutely.
Bailey, were you going to say something? I'm sorry.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, dude, big shout out to your lady keeping us all updated.
I
throughout the
know,
whole
right?
thing.
You talk about a keeper right there.
That's what I'm
Like,
saying.
she's all about that. Just she's been on top of it because, of course, I couldn't do anything, and I was in there. I was barely lucid for like a week in there and stuff. So
Yeah, big
she's
shout
been
out to
kind
the
of keeping
fam.
everybody up to date and keeping the whole shebang running on. And now she's everything for me too at the house. I'm a one-armed 200-pound blob. That's about all I am right now. That's not
Well,
true. I'm already standing a little bit, not gonna lie.
That's good.
That's
Good.
awesome.
I'm doing
that just-
transfers and stuff like that, and got some movement already in my arm and stuff. But we're doing good, on PT and stuff like that. And she's just doing a great job taking care of all the stuff that she does. Being a farm her, being a homeschool mom, being a parent to 2 kids, and now she's got me plus ducks plus bees plus dogs plus cats and everything else, and she's just being a beast and doing all that at the same time. Look at her.
That's
There we
insane.
go.
That's
He's
incredible.
MVP.
He's not standing.
What are you talking about?
not-
If you hold me up and hold me, I can totally stand.
If
He
I
said if
support
someone
all
holds me up.
then he can be vertical.
Hey now,
Not
hey now.
standing.
I could totally stand if I really, really, really wanted to. Like if there was a bacon cheeseburger at the end of this bed right now, best believe.
Levy's getting up and moving. That's great.
Oh, I love
That's right,
that.
That's
I
funny.
love that.
All right, buddy. Well,
All
we're
right.
going to get into
Hey.
this thing. We're going to let it
Y'all do
rip.
your thing. I can't wait to watch this. I'm gonna pull it up on the big TV. Love you guys and
Love you, buddy.
stay
Love
positive.
you, buddy. See
Never
you.
give up,
All
bro.
right, man.
See ya.
See ya. All right,
That's
boys. There he
insane,
is.
dude.
Dude,
That's
he's a freaking
insane.
legend. I'm telling you, Caleb is a legend. I've said it before and I've said it again. He's an absolute legend of a human being, and I love him. I mean, he's great.
I can't wait. It's gonna be like 2 months, and it's gonna be like way too early. He's gonna be in a wheelchair on the front deck of his boat, like working a glide bait. Like
Absolutely.
it's just gonna be dumb. Like
Great. That's
the
great.
dude is unstoppable, and I'm just glad to see he's still smiling.
Absolutely. Well, hey, let's talk about this raffle. Let's talk about how we can raise some money for Caleb because, Caleb is a super positive individual, he's a super positive human being, and oftentimes he's not going to tell you what's really up. You know what I mean? And he's going to be as positive as he possibly can. So I'm going to speak on Caleb's behalf, and I'm going to say Caleb has a lot of medical bills. He's going to have normal bills. He's going to have travel expenses. He's going to have food expenses. He's going to have just normal life expenses. And when you can't work and when you're having to sit in the house for 8 months and not be able to go out and do anything, and plus they've got 2 kids to take care of and 2 kids that have to go to school, there's a lot that's going to go on, and Caleb is going to need a lot of financial help over the next few months. Caleb also doesn't have health insurance, and so I'm helping him to work on getting some health insurance and try to get that situation figured out. But again, going to have a ton of expenses that are going to be a burden on him and his family over the next few months. So we need your help tonight. And how you can help Caleb is actually really simple. We're going to be running a raffle. Like I said, we've got all these awesome prizes that we're going to give away. And the way that you enter the raffle is that you go down in the description of all the platforms that we're on right now, whether it be Facebook, Ben's YouTube, Serious Angler YouTube. If you go down in the description, there's going to be a link to the Alex Red Fishing website. And I set up that website for the sole purpose of being able to donate to causes and to giving opportunities that I saw fit. And so if you go down there, there's going to be 2 options. There's going to be a PayPal option, credit debit option. Pick the option that you want, and for every $1 that you donate, it is going to be 1 entry into the raffle. So that being said, it's like if you donate $25, that's 25 entries. And so the more money that you can donate and that you're willing to donate, the more chances you have to win either a TFO rod, which we have 2 to give away, a Berkeley package, including some unreleased baits like the Slobber Knocker, a 3-month subscription to the Monster Bass box, and or a custom made wooden cutting board, which is really cool, that was provided by First Choice Insurance. And so I just want to thank all those people who donated the gifts and the giveaway prizes so that we'll be able to give them to you guys. But please go down in the description, go to the website and give through the website, because that makes sure 100% of the money is going to Caleb. If you do it through Super Chat on YouTube, YouTube takes a huge portion, sometimes up to 60%. And so please go through the website, because that makes sure all the money is going to Caleb. And yeah, I appreciate you guys. But without further ado, man, we got a show to do. We got to do a little bit of underrated, overrated of the ICAST 2022 baits. What are you boys thinking so far this year? Like, for what you've seen so far, are you impressed? Are you not impressed? Is there anything that's like just blowing your mind? You tell me.
Meh.
Said meh. Caleb?
I just have a big issue with ICAST in general, if I'm being entirely honest. I just think ICAST to me has gotten less and less exciting because of the fact that like everything is online before ICAST, right? The coolest part about ICAST used to be tuning in online and like seeing everything, or like seeing the Hyper Ohm product as it was being released. A bunch of companies are already releasing baits to the point that I've already bought baits that are new for this year on Tackle Warehouse.
That's wild.
Yeah, it's becoming an interesting strategy, because like working in the PR realm of some like the company that's kind of, I don't want to like say that we're leading the way in terms of strategy for marketing around ICAST, but it's like everyone's kind of doing away with this. Everyone drops it at ICAST, and you're going to find out the first day of ICAST what's new, where it's like you're going to find out a month before so that more people know about it. And when it comes to voting, then more people know about it. Typically, it favors your vote, and that's unfortunately that's part of the strategy. And Ben, I think you're muted, buddy. But it's
no. I just like I don't. There's a company that does it totally differently than everyone else. They don't even drop products at ICAST, and I'm like, yeah, it's kind of smart. And I'm not talking to Googans.
Yeah.
Like, there's other companies that do that, and it's just like
right. Yeah, I have mixed feelings about ICAST. ICAST is fun. I mean, I like the big events like ICAST or Classic or Red Crest and stuff like that, because I get to see people that I talk to every day over text or whatever social. I get to see
my beautiful face.
Maybe not that, but it's
okay.
I'm just kidding.
Thanks a lot.
I'm just kidding. I love that part, but honestly, it's I don't like ICAST because I think the things that win aren't actually the best baits or best offerings that are at ICAST.
Well, yeah, that's a given, though. I mean, that's just the given of how voting works at ICAST, the unfortunate reality of it all, right?
Yeah.
I just love the absolute thrashing that you guys are giving ICAST. This is amazing. This sounds like my normal kind of bitching going on here. But you two are just
taking
up the
mantle.
ICAST.
If you've never been to ICAST, it's awesome, right?
It's a great time.
I'm trying to post on the Instagram that we're live. But no, the biggest thing with ICAST, it's awesome. You meet a bunch of people, you're around the industry, it's very cool. You get to see hands-on a bunch of the new products that's coming out. I just think like it's changing the dynamics, especially over the past 2 years with the COV, right? Like it's changed the way that people are approaching ICAST even. So that's just kind of my opinion. I think it's still going to be very cool, but at the same time, it's different than it was maybe 5-10 years ago, where everything was dropped at ICAST, and that's how you had to go to see all the new product for the year. So that's just an opinion, I guess, more than anything.
Yeah, really fast.
I'm not super excited about any of the new products, so I'm not going to lie.
Really fast, I want to take a second to make fun of myself. Alex, you talk about the thrashing we're giving ICAST, but John King in Facebook is thrashing my hairline, so that's why I have a hat on now.
He did. Someone was like, I feel like I'm being recruited to the army because of Bailey.
Oh God, really? That was in the comments?
Oh yeah.
I'm all here for it. I love it. And also there's a comment here from Army Outdoors saying he $100 dropped.
Hey dude, that's awesome, man. That's
insane.
Awesome. Bethany said donations are rolling in. I'm gonna get a a tally here in just a minute. Bethany's working on as fast as it can because you guys are donating so fast that it's the system's having a hard time keeping up with it. I will tell you this much: before we even started tonight, we have had over $1,500 or over $2,500. So like we
That's
started
incredible.
tonight baseline at $2,500, so that's already a tremendous amount of money. So anything we give over that, I mean, honestly, it's incredible what you guys are going to do. But without further ado, and I guess I won't thrash ICAST too bad because you guys didn't say anything that I think. I mean, we're going to get into this thing. We're going to look at some new baits for ICAST 2022. Big thanks to Bassmaster for compiling the list because they're like the only one with a comprehensive list. But first things first. What?
Send Baitman the link too. Let's get him in here.
Okay, I will send his way.
Uh-oh.
First things first here. We got the brand new, highly anticipated, hopped by your boy more than I've hopped anything ever, the Berkley Slobber Knocker. Underrated, overrated, adequately rated. I mean, we have all touched it. We've all felt it. We've all got to play with it. You know, what do you guys think? Benjamin, go first for me, man.
I don't know, man. I like it. I've not fished it enough to have like a great opinion to say, okay, yeah, it's the next most amazing bladed jig ever.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have a great opinion. I've just never fished it enough, and I haven't fished a bladed jig very much recently. So, yeah.
Okay, that's not underrated, overrated. It's adequately rated.
Yeah, I don't even want to rate it. Like, it's not fair for me to rate Berkeley stuff if I don't really like. Yeah, it's not fair.
Okay, Bailey, underrated, overrated. What do you think, buddy?
All right. I think it's fair to call out that we all have an affiliation with Berkeley here. But
Berkeley pays me a lot of money. Yeah, I'll go ahead and put that out there into the world. Y'all are. I mean, that's just the way that it is. So yeah, go ahead.
But I'm going to be 100% transparent because I'm not really one to sugarcoat anything. This fits a mold in my arsenal, but it does not replace every bladed jig for me. So it fits into my arsenal in terms of I'm still going to throw the jackhammer. I'm still going to throw a queen tackle switchblade, but I'm also going to now fit this slobber knocker because it's the most consistent bladed jig that I've ever thrown from start to finish. It's a different knocking, like it's a different amplitude in terms of the knock from the blade. But the one thing I will say on the negative side, I think it's great for colder water because of that consistency. Mm-hmm. But I don't like how hard it is to get this thing to hunt. And that's what I love about a bladed jig, especially when the water temps get warmer. It's pretty hard to get it to hunt. Not saying it doesn't, but it just doesn't hunt like other bladed jigs that I throw. And that's the only downside.
It's tight. It is really tight. That's one thing that I've noticed is like if I'm throwing it at a reed line, I don't have to worry about it kicking out to the side and catching the reeds, right? It is like a very straight running bladed jig. There's times when I like that and there's times when I don't.
Right. And that's because of that new through head design. And that's why. Whereas when you have that connection to like say a line tie, like the ringed line tie, that's where it can create more of a opportunity for it to hunt pretty hard. Whereas this is very consistent. But I will say, you throw some heavier jackhammers, right? And you cast them a decent ways right off the bat. You're like trying to burn it really fast to get that thing to start thumping. Whereas this is like, as soon as you pick up your line slack, it's going to start thumping. It's consistent from start to finish. That's what I'll say about it. I'll say it's adequately rated. I don't think there's people hyping it up, and I don't think there's people trashing it. I think it's right where it needs to be.
Yeah, I'm going to definitely agree with that. I'm going to go with as much experience as I've had with it, as many fish as I've caught on it already. I'm going to say that it's underrated because it is. I mean, dude, I love it. I'm in love with the freaking thing.
Yeah. I think if you're a bladed jig guy, like that's your thing.
Yeah.
Picking up a new bladed jig is just going to catch a ton more fish, right? Like it's something fish haven't seen or heard or felt or whatever with a bladed jig, and you can put it in places that you've not put other bladed jigs and like get bites.
Yeah, and I tell you one thing, there's three main things that really make it stand out from every other bladed jig that I really think makes it underrated for me. Number one is its ability to come through wood. That through-headed design with that little bit bigger blade and just the way that the whole bait moves, man. Like I literally, a big fish that I have on film that I caught this year, it was back in March. I literally rolled that bladed jig over a limb, and when that bladed jig cleared that limb is when she bit it. And like I can promise you, there's no other bladed jig that I've thrown that I've been able to roll it over a limb like I can with this thing. It is absolutely incredible.
A lot of that too is because it's not kicking it's not rolling, right? It's not like turning over on the limb. Like when it comes out, it's very straight. So it hits it, rolls over top, and that's where you can get your bites, right?
Yeah, that's amazing. Number 2 is going to be just the resonance and the action of the bladed jig. I've spent enough time with it and looked at it enough and seen slow motion of it that blade and the way that head design's working, it's working so hard and it's creating so much turbulence. It actually lifts the skirt of the jig up off the body of the bladed jig. I mean, it's absolutely incredible to see the amount of just turbulence that's in behind that blade. And then the third thing that kind of leads into one of the other baits, and the fourth is they kind of all work together, is the hook. The hook's phenomenal, dude. That Fusion 19 hook with the bait keeper that it's got on there, man, like, dude, that thing's an absolute gaff. Like, I'm one thing I've always kind of had trouble with is keeping bladed jig fish pinned, and just that hook design and everything about that hook and the way that they eat that thing, man, I've not had any trouble with that this year, and so I'm in love with it. I really am. I mean, like, but I'm a bladed jig weirdo. It's something I love to throw. I mean, I love a jackhammer. I love a thunder cricket. I love Japanese stuff. That Queen's tackle that you gave me, Bailey. I love that thing. Like, I love bladed jigs, but I have to say, like you said, Bailey, this thing is the most consistent. Like, for a guy who loves bladed jigs, it's like the most consistent thing that it's just right. You know what I mean? So I really like it. So I'm going underrated.
I think one last thing to add in there too is that the guys that like throwing bladed jigs on braid, especially the Florida guys, are going to like that for that hook. That thing does not flex.
No, it's
does not
you can
move.
hammer them.
Yeah, it's a gaff. It's a gaff.
I mean, dude, I was boat flipping 3 and 4 pounders, and I mean, you don't got to worry about shit with that thing, dude. I mean, it's awesome. It's awesome. I love it. All right, so let's keep going here. The slobber knocker is out of the way. We're going to kind of skip around here. I mean, because there's some of these baits like, do you guys care to discuss the Ketchco Mach Buka Bull mullet? Like, are we?
I'd like to take the next 30 minutes to talk about this bait.
Okay, well then go right ahead. You have the floor, and you better keep everybody entertained.
Anything Ketchco, we can just breeze by.
I'm gonna say, I'm curious because it has Buka's name on it. Like, it can't be trash because I don't think Buka would let his name go on something that's garbage.
Agreed. Maybe for the right amount of money, but I agree. All right.
Should say right there.
That is one you should talk about quick. That spinnerbait.
The spinnerbait. All right, so let's talk about this spinnerbait. Bailey, you tell me why this spinnerbait is interesting to you.
So I'm not the biggest spinnerbait nerd. Like, I've found one brand that I like to. Oh gosh, we got Kevin here. What up, dude?
Hey, check out this shirt, Rudd.
I like it. Nice.
Now I'm all distracted. Kev's in here, and I'm all happy. I forgot what I was talking about.
Oh, jeez.
Kevin, it's been a while, dude.
Dude, it has. I worked that swing shift life.
That's right.
Take years off your life, dude. Years off your life.
Dude, the biggest thing that jumps out at me at this spinnerbait is just it's a pretty unique blade on the top, but also blade combination. Like, I'm just intrigued. I'd like to actually see it in person at ICAST, that top blade, to see what it looks like from like a thickness standpoint of the gauge of that blade, but also like what that actually does underwater, because it looks like a combination between
So Lucky Strike makes a bladed or a spinnerbait with those blades.
The Trickster.
The Trickster, right? Yeah, Rick Lund loves those blades because it's like in between a willow and it's like almost in between a willow and an Indiana.
Like an Indiana, yeah.
So it's a little bit tighter, but at the same time it has more thump in like tannic water. It's interesting.
I'm curious to see what that thump's like, or what that's like underwater. Kevin, have you seen anything like that?
You can throw a 3/4 and it stays like at the top of the water. Like with a willow, you really have to burn it to stay at the top, but with that like Indiana cross, it stays up top.
Yeah, it's basically a faster Colorado blade. Doesn't have as much thump, but it's still going to have some vibration to it. I mean, there's a lot of OG spinnerbaits that have something similar to that. I mean, they catch.
I dig it.
Yeah.
I like it.
I think that's
I
big
like
for
it.
freedom, just because they don't have anything else that's good.
All right, so underrated, overrated here,
I mean,
boys.
you're not wrong. You're not wrong. But they've come a long way. At least not everything has a swinging hook.
They're getting there.
I love it. I love it. All right, let's keep rolling here. Let's keep rolling. Now we're gonna skip that one. Yep, we're gonna definitely skip that one. Now
That's
this
just
one
a
I'm
spinner
actually,
bait.
this one I'm actually.
Why
interested
are
in.
you interested in this one? What makes this different than a nickel spinnerbait?
Okay, well, first of all, the head design's completely different. But the reason I'm interested in it is the fact that it's a Nichols. Now, I'm a big fan of Nichols spinnerbaits. I've always been a big fan of Nichols spinnerbaits, and I always will be. I mean, I've caught more big fish on a Nichols spinnerbait than I've caught on any other spinnerbait ever in the existence of ever. And so anything that Nichols puts their name on, I mean, I'm interested to see what it's about. And so I will have to pick up a few of these just to play around with them, just to see what it's actually about. I mean, I'm going that this is definitely probably going to be a underrated spinnerbait in the fact that it's Nichols, and probably a lot of people are going to sleep on it because it's like, well, what's different than anything else they've ever put out? But I'm liking the look of it. The only thing I don't really like is the fact that it looks like we don't have a hand-tied skirt on here. I'm the kind of dude who blows through skirts, and so I want it to be on there as well as it can be. But I'm
here's
interested by this.
This has been my big thing about spinnerbaits recently is the wire diameter, right? Like, I don't think it matters if you're throwing a big 3/4 and you're burning it. Like, I don't think it matters. It's going to get thrashed. But like, if you're slow rolling a spinnerbait or you're fishing it around cover, you want that thing to have a little bit of movement. If they just go with the same like wire diameter on all their other spinnerbaits, it's a pretty thick wire. Like, there's nothing to me that stands out. So I'd be very interested in the wire diameter. I think it's interesting. Do I think I'm going to pick some up? No.
Okay.
But I'm not in spinnerbait land, really, unless it's a chartreuse spinnerbait that I'm going to burn around.
I'm kind of with Alex here. I think Nichols is probably one of the most underrated spinnerbait companies out there. And I'm going to tell you, I got a box full of them.
Absolutely.
Brooks at Nichols, he isn't going to put junk out. So,
no. I mean, you look at this one, it says designed around an owner hook. Each catalyst is plated in either 24 karat gold or nickel for the ultimate durability and style, engineered with the G3 level curvature. Not really sure what that is. Catalyst is finished with a pro tie skirt. So pro tie, I would guess that means that it's hand tied. I don't know. And the blades, man, those blades too, dude. There's something about Nichols blades.
They're really good.
I don't know what it is.
So like Nichols spinnerbaits are phenomenal. I just don't think it's anything. To me, it's not exciting because I'm not a spinnerbait dude. But like, maybe the spinnerbait guys is exciting.
So Ben is definitely saying that this is overrated. Me and Kevin are saying that it's underrated, and Bailey seems to be indifferent about the whole situation. Probably because he won $10,000 on a different spinnerbait. So he's just like, y'all shut the hell up. I know what I'm talking about. I don't need you.
Yeah, I can't argue with that.
So, like, here's the thing that perks me up. I see the owner hook part, and that gets my eyes
perks you
on
up. I like that.
Owner hooks perk me up.
No, that's what I'm talking about.
I'm a big fan of accent spinnerbaits, but like the thing is for me for me with spinnerbaits, and I'm kind of in that crowd of like when you find a good spinnerbait that you like, you don't really care about any other spinnerbaits coming out because you found the one that works for you and you don't really want to change it. But it's like it doesn't mean I don't think this is a bad spinnerbait. It's just more of like, I don't know, doesn't like make me want to switch from what I'm using right now.
Dude, keep scrolling down. There was. I'm
going to say it's rated.
The Spro spinnerbait. Okay.
Yeah, we're about to get to it.
Yeah,
we're about to get to it. So I want to take just a second though to remind everybody we are raising money for our good buddy Mr. Caleb Bell, Mr. Bass Quest, who had an accident on the job site, ended up breaking his arm, breaking both of his legs, shattering his elbow. He's going to be out of work for at least 8 months, and he's got a long road to recovery with a lot of medical bills, with a lot of normal bills, with a lot of life expenses, and we're helping to raise some money to ease those expenses on his life. So if you want to join in on the raffle, all you got to do is go to alexruddfishing.com, hit the donate button. For every $1 that you donate, it will be one entry into the raffle to either win a TFO rod, a Berkeley Baits package that includes unreleased baits like the Slobber Knocker, a 3-month subscription to the Monster Bass box, and or a custom made, handmade wooden cutting board that was provided by the good people of First Choice Insurance. So make sure that you go down below and you donate, and make sure you donate through the website, because I've set that up specifically to circumvent YouTube, because YouTube takes like 60% when you give a super chat. And so I made the website so that we can donate and give to causes and make sure that 100% of the money is going where it needs to go. And we've already raised over $3,000 tonight since we've been on, which
Dude,
is absolutely amazing.
That's
it's just
insane.
freaking crazy. And so let's keep this thing rolling, man. Let's get this thing up to like $5,000. I really believe that we can do it. It's amazing what happens. You know, there's 108 of you guys in here. If everybody just gives $10 more, guess what? We've hit $4,000. I mean, it's super, super simple to give. It's super simple to donate, and you get a chance to win some really awesome prizes.
There's a GoFundMe on my Facebook page like a couple days ago.
Yeah.
I dropped 50 bones on that thing. Caleb is salt of the earth people, man. So
Absolutely.
He's one of the best, dude.
let's go. I may do a little stream, maybe try to help him out Sunday night or something. We don't know. I got a lot of baits we could donate for a raffle.
There you go. I like it. Maybe.
Got any of them paperweights I could buy off you, Kevin?
Yeah, I got one hanging in my truck. That's how much I fish it.
It'll look great hanging on my rod.
All right, let's keep going.
Never
here.
mind. Keep going.
Yeah.
I just know. I'm out of the joke, so I just keep moving. All right, so
You can skip the rat.
I just like the look of it. That's why I threw
Is
it
that
on
a
the thumbnail.
Plop-rat?
It's a plopper rat.
It's really pissed off.
Bio rat.
It is.
It's the bio rat. It's a plopper rat. Yeah, that's interesting.
With
I don't
the
know.
tail, how does the plopper feet?
You
with
remember
the
the
tail,
double
like-
plopper, like spinnerbait looking thing?
Yes.
That's what this reminds me of.
Yeah.
Did
I
anyone
kinda-
ever catch fish on the double plopper? Like really catch them?
No, that thing never ran right for me. So I threw it like 4 times, and I was like, yeah, I'll just go back to the normal one.
One of the worst videos ever made was like, it's so far back on my channel. I reviewed that thing, and I didn't want to hurt River to Sea's feelings. I should delete it. It's that bad.
I should delete it. It's that bad. Oh, okay.
Kevin,
There
I
it is.
remember the first time I ever actually heard of you, like I'd watched some of your review videos, but Casey from Sixth Sense, we were on the phone. He's like, dude, this Baitman Baxter guy, he does a bunch of reviews on baits, and that's how I've heard of you. But then I watched that one.
Yeah. Anyway, we'll forget I mentioned that.
I love Cole. Cole said that the double plopper was the worst lure ever created besides the live target sunfish. I mean, just brutal. Okay.
I'm
I
really
love it.
curious.
That's
I'm
amazing.
really curious on this. In the comments, drop the worst lure that you've ever fished. Like you spent
Yes.
money on, and it's like the worst lure you've ever fished. Because
Probably those two Alex just named.
No, I'll tell you how bad it is. My dad's right. We turned that double plopper into a keychain so that we wouldn't lose the boat keys. That's how bad that was. We clipped the hook off of it and attached the boat keys to it because it's so gaudy that you would never lose it. So that's what we did with it. All right, so I'm confused by these two. Why a Jackal Gantarelle and a Gantarelle Junior and a Jackal Rearrange are both baits that are out? What's the difference?
Assuming
between
colors. I'm assuming color extensions.
these? Oh, okay. So this is new colors.
That's
All
what I'm
well,
thinking.
all
That
right.
rearrange is good though.
Yeah.
Oh, dude,
That's
the
all I have to
rearranges.
say.
Rearrange will win best of show for a new color.
I think that should be a category because a lot of companies just come out with new colors.
That's right.
Why not?
Yeah, they do. They do.
Yeah, they do. So, this thing. Okay, I want your opinions on this. I want to do an overrated, underrated. I want to do an overrated, underrated on hyper realistic, like real life looking baits. I personally have never had any success on a hyper realistic looking bait. Like, so I'm going way, way, way overrated because, like, I've thrown them. Like, I've taken time to really try with them, and I've never had any success on a hyper realistic bait. What do you guys think?
My problem is I've had success on very good looking baits. My problem is with live target, everything just seems to not perform that great.
Mm.
Like
Okay.
it just doesn't
Sounds
have
like
the right
live
action
target.
in the water, and like it just, I don't know.
Sounds like live target. Just nothing works. It's all for looks.
Bait
Dude,
up
like,
with
and dude,
with the
and
gut shot.
who's the idiot that puts this picture up here when you can't even find the line tie to the dang lure.
Yo, where is the line tie?
And what the hell is the line tie looking thing at the belly? Like that doesn't make sense for a line tie. So what the heck is that even there for?
That, I
It's
bet,
an extra hook.
so
Yeah.
I bet, yeah.
It's
That
so
makes
you can
no
snag
sense.
on.
That's right.
So you can snag on Periscope or whatever it is.
Oh.
So I bet you tie here,
How is Live
put-
Target making any money?
dude. I really.
I feel like you're supposed to buy a dozen of those, and Stale Cracker's going to cook them in some jambalaya. You know,
I
that's
think
what we do.
the only people, oh god, the only people that
Oh,
buy this
God,
crap are
that's
like
so
the like
funny.
first time fishermen that go to Walmart and they're like, "This looks realistic. Let's buy this
Yeah.
crap."
Yeah, it's as good
Uh,
as the real thing. Let's go. Let's go right
So
now. Let's
I'm
go.
going to say overrated, but it'd be underrated to how many people that don't actually fish buy those things because it looks
A
just
lot.
like a crawfish.
A lot. It's like the bait ball stuff, right? Like
Yeah,
they probably sold a lot of those.
yeah,
to
absolutely.
catch fish.
Absolutely. Well, dude, I mean, it does. I have to say, it's impressive, though. I mean, that's impressive that they did that. Like, that really does look like a crawdad. Like, I
It
can give
does.
them that much. That's pretty cool. But outside of that, meh. All right, let's keep going. Shimano's new stuff.
Okay, I gotta
Anybody-
say something about Shimano. What
Okay.
is this technology? Will it ever like die? Like, will it ever stop doing the little vibration thing?
Great question.
Because like their jerk baits actually look like a re-range, which is a great jerk bait. But will that like little wiggly thing ever die in it? So what I'm talking about, it's like a piece of technology that keeps this thing in the middle of the bait, like
Flash disc.
wiggling back and forth. Yeah.
I gotta spank my kid. I'll be right back.
All right, have fun. Just put us on mute so we don't hear the scream.
Oh, we're not on mute. We might have incriminating evidence here.
Just, we're gonna remove him here for just a second. Let him get on this kid. All right. So yeah, no, the flash disc fascinates me. I would ask myself that, but here's what I think when looking at the product, and I picked one up at the store. That's what's moving it. So it's just it's a spring. So I would think kind of like a light bulb, because with the filament in a light bulb, it's essentially a spring. When it burns out, it breaks.
Right.
I think eventually what will happen there is something will hit it hard enough, or you will hit it off something hard enough that spring breaks, and then that is the moment that this bait, that the little flashy disc becomes, inoperable. I don't
So,
know.
but is it a mechanism, right? Is it something that's caused by light, or every time you put it in your tackle box, that thing just goes forever?
It's like it's like the technology that Livingston Lures came out with, but one that'll probably actually work.
My God.
Actually, no, it's nothing like that. But yeah, okay.
Well, Livingston Lures had like the mechanism in the bait, but for sound, where this is more visual.
yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know, man.
I think
mean,
this is underrated as heck.
It's a unique technology. I don't think for a popper it makes a difference, but I do think the popper actually looks pretty good.
Dude,
Yeah, it
but
does.
think about it though. Think about it for like spotted bass or smallmouth. Like, how many times do you get bit when the popper's just sitting there doing nothing? Especially like a spotted bass and smallmouth that are very visual creatures.
is that making noise too? So is it sitting there going like tick 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 tick?
No,
or is
it
it
makes
just,
no
just
noise. I
flashing?
saw one the other day. It just flashes.
Does it
That's
come in
weird.
bone?
I'm sure it does.
That's the only
I'm
color I need.
There's
That's
certain
right, though.
baits.
Bone or black, the only color topwaters that I need ever.
Yeah, I mean, let's be honest, Kevin. Like they're just like bone or black. Like bone for me. Like bone is like the only color top water that I really throw that I think is effective.
Now I will say that like a ghost minnow color like that, I do throw quite a bit in clear water, and it does work. But you'll know if it's overrated or not when Tactical Bass and quits linking in the description. I love you, Matt. I love Matt Allen, so I have to
I
say
love it.
that.
This is why we brought you in. All right, let's keep rolling here. I don't even know what that thing
I'm
is.
interested by this technology. So
Okay.
the weight on this is
Technology.
outside of the body. So it's not like
Bailey.
internally
Sit.
weighted.
It's called a OSP knockoff.
Oh, nah.
This is a big body. This is a big body crankbait. So this is like an 80 millimeter body crankbait plus a bill. It's a really deep diving crankbait, but all the weight is outside the body. So like I don't even know what it's going to do, but it's pretty interesting. Like I think finally seeing a little bit of new technology and crankbaits is interesting to me.
Okay, I'll be totally honest with you. Everything except for the Spro rock crawler that I've thrown from Spro is just not that good. They're deep diving crankbaits. I don't like them. The Little John's all right. The little one, that little bitty crankbait that they've got. But even then, that thing, I feel like I'm tuning it constantly. So I'm going, this is like way overrated, maybe. I don't know. I've not had a ton of success with anything outside of the Little John and the rock crawler.
So they do say it's supposed to dive faster based on the way that the weight is on the body, which is interesting to me. I think them introducing new technology into cranking is pretty interesting. But beyond that,
Where is this weight outside of the crankbait deal you're talking about?
This is right here.
I think it's right there on the belly. I guess similar to an OSP, right? Where the weight is in the ballast of the bait that causes it to run more.
And for everybody
evenly, so it
listening
balances
on
out.
for everybody listening on audio form later on, what this is essentially it's a Spro Big John deep diving crankbait, but instead of the weight being inside of it, there's like a tumorous mass that's protruding from the bottom where all the lead of the crankbait is at.
But what it does, so like the OSP crankbait that's become really popular with smallmouth guys, the weight is on the belly of the bait. So there's no internal weight transfer system. So when you cast this bait, it runs very, 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 very straight all the time. It'll bounce out a line, and that belly weight will bring it right back to center. I'm assuming that that's like the goal of this.
I also have to retract a statement that I just said because I'm an idiot. The Spro Bronze Eye 65 frog's the greatest frog ever made. So that's another bait from Spro. Now that I'm thinking about it, I regret the statement I just made that everything that I've ever used from Spro, Spro makes some good shit. Never mind. I am wrong. But those deep diving crankbaits I don't like. Anyway, we can move forward now.
John Long's comment is where it's at. Spro needs to stick to frogs, in my opinion.
I'm not going to disagree. And the rock crawler. I'm sorry, but the rock crawler
is good. The rock crawler is good, but there was a time where like my buddy Andy was throwing an OSP that looked exactly like this crankbait, and I was throwing the rock crawler, and he was going 5-1 on me.
That's crazy.
OSP and rock crawler are two different baits.
True.
There's a crankbait coming out by Berkeley called the Moneymaker or Money Badger that I'm pretty interested in. It's not in this list. I'm just very interested in it because it also runs extremely true all the time. Yeah, it's very, very true crankbait. It doesn't come through any sort of grass, but
it went fish for fish with an OSP.
Dude, I played with it.
Interested.
I played with it in the river the other day because I was worried fishing it the first time that I fished it wouldn't be able to handle current. I was wrong. That thing it's mean, dude. That is a mean little crankbait.
Hey, something that's not on here from Spro, Cullen J said Spro and KGB swim baits collaborated for a $60 glide bait. That's probably my favorite bait for ICAST, just to be honest with you.
Agreed.
So is it the same size as the normal KGB Chad Shad or whatever?
Yeah, it's basically an ABS version of the Chad Shad.
That's sweet.
Yeah, it's not like, Buka did the baby bull shad with, I don't want to say their name, Ketchko, but it is what it is, though. They sell a pile of them, and a lot of guys catch a lot of fish on them, and they bump up and they say, hey, I'm going to buy a resin bull shad. So, hey, I think it's a great deal. Instead of Spro just knocking them off, they collaborated. The paint jobs are amazing. Guys take a risk on a $60 glide bait, and if they like it, they'll probably go, well, I'll buy one of them $200 ones. So it's a win-win.
I'm so excited to just see a rise in affordable glide baits because that's one thing, dude. I mean, like, I've got a depth. It's stupid. It's way too expensive. Yes, is it like sprinkled in magic dust? It absolutely is. I don't freaking get the dang thing. But anyway, like a rise in affordable glide baits, man, is so huge because it really just makes that whole segment of the fishing genre more accessible to dudes. And like $60, like you said, dude, it's a lot easier to swing than $250 or $300 for some of these glide baits.
Is that Chad Shad? Is it a fast glide or is it like just a lazy bait or what is it?
So I've seen a lot of people go, oh, look, S-Waver or just buy S-Waver. Man, S-Waver's totally different than Chad Shad. If you like fast moving glide baits, Chad Shad is the deal. It's not going to have a super wide motion. It's going to be real choppy and make good quarter, half turns really, really fast. It's going to stay in the upper water column. It's a really good glide, especially in the fall or spring. You know, when they get on that jerkbait bite in the spring, sometimes they're eating it not on the paws. That's when that Chad Shad's really good. But it's a really good fall bait, especially on the Tennessee River. Rudd knows what I'm talking about. Bar hopping on like Pickwick and Chickamauga, Kentucky, where you're fishing them shallow bars. You're trying to catch those bass that are chasing those gizzards in 2-3 foot of water. Where you're having to work at top water as fast as you can throw that Chad Shad and you can catch a few fish.
Yeah, I'm interested by that because I like a really fast glide bait. I like to work it. I like to move it. I like to hit targets with it. You know what I mean? Fish it faster on a target. That's where I've had a lot of success with a glide bait. So, yeah, that's cool. I'm excited about this one. All right, let's keep on moving. We got spinnerbaits here, man. Spro spinnerbaits. It looks like a mega bass spinnerbait to me.
It does.
I'm interested by the fact that they put the blade numbers on them. It's cool, but I don't know if it's necessary.
Oh,
I'll tell you what's
it's necessary, buddy.
I mean, it is if you're changing out the blades, right? But like,
they just eliminated 5,000 emails from Randy and Teleco saying, "Hey, what size is that blade on that spinnerbait?"
That's
he
right.
ain't wrong.
I will
wrong.
say, when I have to change blades on a spinnerbait, or like if I want to kind of change the action, it is miserable most of the time.
That's yeah. I mean, I don't
think I've
disagree.
ever swapped a blade on a spinnerbait ever in my entire life.
The first time I ever saw it done was when I was with Hallman on Grand Lake, or like working with him around Grand Lake, and he was changing blades. And we were trying to eye which color.
I've changed this during the Chad spawn.
This bait is like an OG Slim knockoff.
Yeah, that's exactly.
Or I guess OG Slim comparable. I shouldn't say knockoff. It's not the same body shape, but comparable.
It's more of a speed trap.
Yeah, it is. That's interesting. I like that a lot. It's called the Speed Demon. So, I mean, this is like shallow water, early spring, cranking that freaking thing as fast as you can go kind of bait. That's interesting to me.
It'll be interesting to see the colors they're coming out with it.
Yeah. Underrated, overrated. What do you boys think? We've kind of lost track here on underrated, overrated.
I'm going to say underrated.
Yeah, I like underrated on that one. I like it.
I don't
like
fish this style of bait enough. It doesn't fit my style. So
it's because you're a loser. Anywho,
Damn.
But it's like treble hooks. Nah.
Oh.
Yeah,
It doesn't have hair on it.
Yeah, if it ain't a 6-9 spinning rod, I don't want to have nothing to do with it. All right. Hey, I just want to remind everybody really quick before we go any further into the list, we are doing a raffle tonight to help raise money for our good friend, Mr. Caleb Bell. For you guys that don't know what happened, Caleb fell off a roof that he was working on. That's what he does for a living, is work on roofs. He is a roofer, and he fell off a roof 17 feet straight to the concrete, ended up breaking both of his legs, compound fracturing his arm, and he is looking at an extensive recovery, probably 8 months before he's able to actually just get up and move around and function as a normal human being. And with all of that, Caleb is going to be seeing a lot of medical bills, a lot of just normal bills like lights, water, cars, the whole nine, food, getting his kids back and forth to school, just all the expenses that life is going to bring a person. And you can only imagine, as a person who works every single day, works 40 hours a week, we all do it, that if I wasn't able to work, or Ben wasn't able to work, or Kevin wasn't able to work, for 8 months, it would be a huge detriment to our families. Bailey doesn't count. It would be a huge detriment to our family. I'm just kidding, Bailey. It'd be a huge detriment to our families if we weren't able to work for 8 months. And so we're raising money to help out Bailey, or help out Bailey. Bailey, you gotta quit laughing.
Help me out.
Not Bailey. We're raising money to help out Caleb, just to ease those expenses on his life. So if you want to be a part of this awesome giving opportunity, what's even cooler is that it's a raffle. And so for every $1 that you donate, you're going to have a chance to win either a TFO rod, a Berkeley bait package that includes unreleased baits, 3-month subscription to the Monster Bass box, or a custom handmade wooden cutting board that was provided by the good people over at First Choice, which is actually really cool. I would like to have that. I have a custom made cutting board, and it's actually really cool. But anyway, so if you want to donate, go down below, hit the link in the description of any of the platforms that you're watching on, and or go to alexredfishing.com, hit the donate button. For every $1 that you donate, it is one entry into the raffle. So meaning if you donate $25, you get 25 entries. Bailey, you raise your hand. Okay, yes, go ahead. You have permission to
Teacher-
speak.
Teacher Rudd.
Yes.
Sorry, I just have to call attention to these comments. Paul Heels comment. Hold the F on. He just said roof like a dog bark.
It's Dad Jim Roof, son. It's a roof. He got up on that roof. He fell off that damn roof. Yeah, he got up on that roof and he fell off that damn roof, and this son of a bitch and roof hurt him. All right, so damn it to hell, we ain't gonna let that roof hurt our friend Caleb. We're gonna raise some money and we're gonna help him to be able to pay his bills, and that's what's going on.
That
And
was
we gonna
good.
would you did you? I tell you what, and some bitch. All right, let's keep.
I was going to ask, did you read that whole spiel off a teleprompter? Because, dude, that was freaking amazing.
Dude, no, it's just right off the top of my head, son. I got the ability to talk. It may not. It's got me in more trouble than it's got me out of. I'll say that much. But I can talk just a little bit.
He's a walking teleprompter.
So the 6 cent stuff, obviously they're not on here. They're not releasing product at ICAST because they probably don't have to. But there's a lipless they're coming out with that I'm pretty interested in. It's like the small one.
It's badass.
That's what I was going to ask about. So I'm curious about it because I fish a lot of small lipless crankbaits.
I just caught about a 25-pound limit on it.
What?
Now it
Like
wasn't
your
like
Ruku
now
shad and
it
like
was
the
on Lake
Duo,
X, but
still.
well, here's the deal. They wouldn't buy anything else. I mean, I threw all kinds of stuff, and I didn't even realize I had it with me. I tied it on, but it's kind of like a Ruku shad / LV500 mix.
Yeah.
So it's kind of weighted in the front, and it's got a smaller profile for a 5/8 ounce. Now, something a lot of people won't know is they went to a different hook manufacturer, and this bait's called the Duke. It's on their website, and they're using BKK trebles, and yeah, they're sharp.
Dude, that's what's on my crankbait. They're awesome.
But it's a really good bait. Eventually, I'll quit being lazy and get that edited and put it up there. But they got some other stuff dropping too. I would probably look in the next week or two, start seeing their website flood with new products. So it's just a deal for them. It's a lot easier for them to just the way, and you're going to see other manufacturers like this because of getting stuff in is a problem. It was hard to get it all in and just have a show at ICAST and take orders and fulfillments and then say, well, we don't know if we'll get it this fall, next spring, or whatnot. So they just said, you know what, we're not going to spend the money. We'll spend the money on marketing, on Facebook, Instagram, Ben Milliken, other influencers, and see where it goes from there. You know, that works for some companies. So
I dig it. All right. We got to talk about this freaking thing because this is the most. Me and Ben's been talking about.
This is called the sack attack. This is the sack attack.
The sack attack. Yeah, I'm going with the sack attack. I'm going with the Spro. I say we call it the Spro because it looks like a scrotum. Anyway, dude, what?
You got to see a doctor, bro. Like, you got some weird shit going on.
Here's my problem with this. Why are they using the old Strike King Rage Blade?
Oh,
probably because Strike King used the blade connection on the Thunder Cricket, so now got you back.
Got you back.
I guess.
Okay, I still don't understand what the hell this thing even is.
Okay, so I watched a video on it before we got on here that Z-Man released. So what you do is you tie your line to this front line tie right here, and it brings the nose of the bait up out of the water. And then the nose of the bait starts like doing this wobbling thing back and forth. And the blade on the tail starts to do its thing like a bladed jig does. And it does this like wobbly thing through the water like this. And it's a topwater thing. And I don't even...
It really does look like a ball sack going back and forth under the water.
Yeah,
that's your new double whopper plopper right there.
Oh God,
dude, I'm just that's a lot going on, and it looks like something out of a Star Wars movie. I mean,
it looks like Jar Jar Binks.
Yes,
me's a good at top water, I promise.
Oh my God.
Seriously, so when I originally saw them doing like a Hellraiser promo, I thought it was going to be like a tackle brake blade. which
Yeah.
is a phenomenal, like super shallow water, semi-bladed jig sort of looking bait, right? It basically is like subsurface
Mhm.
blade baiting or bladed jig. I was not expecting this. I think I told you, Alex, like I bet it's a brake blade. and
Yeah,
it's
that's
not.
exactly what we both said. And
They're kind of like a backwards jackal riser bait, if you know what I'm talking about.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that's true. Have you fished that?
Yeah, I won't ever fish it again, but
Hmm.
not my style. Not saying it's better, not my style.
not
They
my
said
style.
fish in the southeast is bad hookup ratio. The ball is getting away.
So is this underrated or overrated? Because we got
Overrated.
overrated.
Way
Yeah.
overrated. It's gonna
Yeah.
win like something, but it's overrated.
So if you
Yeah,
took the blade off, would you be circumcising the bait?
You'd be castrating it.
Yeah,
Yeah, you'd be
that's it.
castrating it. Yeah.
Give it a vasectomy.
Oh, Lord of mercy. If somebody doesn't make a video about that, I'm just not going to be happy about it. Yeah, I'm going overrated. I think this thing's like hype as can be. Maybe we'll all be wrong and own one in 6 months because they're just catching so many topwater fish. But let's all be honest. That's probably going to be a negative there, Captain. All right, let's keep on going here. We got a finesse jig. We got some 13 fishing topwaters.
It's like a pencil popper.
Oh, look, another shower blow knockoff.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Pretty much. Not gonna lie. All right, soft baits. Let's talk about this thing because listen, I've had it since February.
Looks great.
It's awesome, man. I mean, it. I'll tell you this much: with the slobber knocker, I think with it being specifically designed for the slobber knocker, it comes alive on the back of a slobber knocker. I'm not throwing it on any other bladed jig yet, but I would be interested to go throw it on other bladed jigs. But that back end design is actually really cool with the honeycomb, because it really is like it's flippy floppy, man. Like you hold one of those things straight up, and that center, the non perforated part or the non honeycomb part is solid, but that tail will literally lay like completely over and touch on the body. I mean, to me, man, it's a good looking bladed jig trailer. I like straight bladed jig trailer. I go between this and that's the two bladed jig trailers that I use. And Bailey, I was going to say earlier, if you pop a deal on the back of a slobber knocker, it makes it hunt, and I don't know why.
So here's the thing: they got a lot of hate for the gilly, right? If you look at the tail end, you might think it's a gilly style. It's not. It's like inverted. It's like inverted, the opposite direction. And what makes it so interesting is it's actually very, very durable. But I don't like the 3.5. Like I like that bigger one, the 4.5 for the back of the bladed jig.
Dude, I'm thinking putting it on the back of a buzz bait and skipping some.
Oh, I bet.
You don't like the 3.5?
The 3.5 is like the skirt almost takes away from the actual action.
You just got to trim the skirt.
Yeah, I'd never leave the regular skirt on a bladed jig.
I just got ripped on. I don't know.
Did.
I like the longer profile of the bigger one.
I don't know. I think that smaller compact bladed jig is the move versus that big profile. I love the 3.5. I think there was originally when I saw that this was coming out a while ago that they were going to get ripped on for trying to go after the Zako. But I think the fact that they have a 3.5 inch, it's a game. I was about to say game changer, and that's like the horrible
game changer.
Worst term to use.
Game changer.
It makes a big difference, I'll say. I think the 3.5 inch because that compact profile gets you more bites. In my
I'm also interested to see if anyone has any other ways to rig this beyond just a bladed jig, right? Like Kevin talks about the buzz bait, and like I think you could possibly rig this on the back of a swim jig. It just has a unique. It's not even hunting. It just doesn't really do a whole lot. But any action you impart on the bait, it moves.
So right, I nose hooked it. I nose hooked it and twitched it around like a fluke. It's sick. It goes whoop, just like the ghillie does, like a weightless ghillie.
You've been on a rant with that recently.
What?
Since you've been nose hooking the ghillie, I feel like you're nose hooking everything that's plastic.
Because I'm trying it, dude. I mean, like after the gold ghillie experience, I was like, wonder what this will do if I nose hook it. I mean, so I went down the rabbit hole. I mean, because dude, the ghillie weightless is like when you pull it, it just goes and then dies. This thing does something similar. It doesn't do the woo. It doesn't do the.
Sorry, dudes.
That is amazing. I love the parenting. It's just what is going on? Why are you
Sounded like World War III in my son's room, and amazingly, he's just sitting there on his phone.
Oh, to be a kid again.
Oh, I love that.
That's amazing. But
Dude,
no, yeah.
I think like the 4-inch could be interesting for like a free rig.
Oh, not
We'll
wrong.
talk
saying?
about a product that is not on here and is definitely not going to be, or all the new Do It products. The
Yes.
Bukoshi bug, which is
Yeah.
like you can actually make it. You make it yourself. It's like a free rig style bait, and they obviously make it for like flipping and Texas rigging. But it's a big body bluegill profile with kicking tails. It's going to be awesome on a free rig. I'm excited for that bait.
Let the
Yeah,
gosh
and
damn
I'm
dog
excited
in.
about all the Do It stuff, dude, because it's just I like making stuff. It's fun. So
And they
it's gonna be fun.
finally, like, I hate to say this if Brennan is watching or Drake, but they're finally coming out with baits that are
cool.
custom
They're
to
cool
them.
looking. And
Yeah,
they're
and
cool
they're custom to them, and they're not just like some knockoff Arky head and like a ball
Yes.
head and
Yes.
a football head and a
Yes.
wave worm, and like
That's it.
they're coming out with some really cool stuff. And man, I'm really pulling for them to win like showcase of the year for tackle customization because they have some really cool stuff. That katana craw is really nice.
Oh,
Yeah.
hell yeah. I can't wait for that.
Dude, I'm telling you, I'm jacked up about all. I literally texted Brennan the other day and I was like, listen, I've been meaning to tell you this stuff is clean looking. It's modern looking. It's dope looking. Like this is good looking stuff. It's not just like what you said. It's not just generic. Like I feel so many of these do-it-yourself tackle companies, it's so generic across the board. So I'm
Or
going
knockoff, straight knockoff.
or just straight knockoff. So I got two underrated overrateds here. I'm going Power Stinger, definitely underrated. It's a really good bladed jig trailer. I think there's more applications to be found with it, just like Kevin said with the buzzbait. That's very
Yep.
interesting. Do It, highly underrated for everything that they got coming out. They need a lot more attention because it is some badass stuff. All right.
Dude, I've
Yeah.
only got 2 molds from Do It, and they hooked me up, and I haven't made any wall because I've just been working all the time. But I like doing it. Like I was like, it's going to be work to make some jigs, but the way their stuff works and set up, dude, I like it. I like their stuff quite a bit. I need to make some more jigs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That new jig too, the new hybrid jig.
Grass
Looks
jig,
badass.
oh my gosh, it looks awesome.
Dude.
They have those big what I like, okay, so a lot of Do It stuff is generic, like just a small triangle bait keeper.
Mhm.
This is like a custom jig where you have those hard bait keepers, the sharp
Yes.
bait keepers that you don't get on any of the other Do It stuff. They're really going to be making a push, especially with Brennan and Drake there. They're phenomenal.
Yeah,
I
they
can't
are,
say
man.
enough.
I'm super excited about the whole lineup for this next coming year. It's going to be cool. All right. Let's talk about this thing. I'm very interested by this. Me and Ben have been talking about it, looking at it. You know, we're interested for a couple reasons. Number one, because it looks just like Berkeley. Oh my
Like
God.
here's the thing, Berkeley's
What's the freaking thing
flatworm
called?
shape
Flatworm, there we
wasn't
go.
that unique. It wasn't that unique, right? I don't even think it necessarily mattered that that's the shape. I prefer the hitworm. I'm interested by the plastic composition and if it's just scented plastic or if it's truly like a unique plastic formulation that disperses scent, because this has been something that I've had a ton of conversation with lately is scent dispersion as opposed to scented plastic. Like I
Very-
think scent dispersion and ability to actually like disperse in the water when it's down on bottom and not just
Here's-
be scent is
here's-
more important.
Here's a take for you. All these
Okay.
companies that are coming out now saying, and they're just going to use the term science and like created by science, and they're just basically using Berkeley's messaging, and it makes them sound better than they actually are.
So it's going to be like
so
building on
Fishing the
science.
Southeast said he got to try the Sensation plastic. Is it a different sort of plastisol? Is it different plastic, or is it just plastic that's scented?
Here's my thing, dude. Like, if there's no scent dispersion, then what the hell's the point of it? Like,
You know, what's the benefit?
yeah,
Well, there's some OG guys that just want to spray Gambler Bang on everything.
that's what I'm saying. Kev,
You're not
the three of
wrong.
us here are all affiliated with Berkeley. So like, we're gonna try to be transparent, but like, you need to like be that ruthless non-Berkeley guy in this group here.
Now, I'm going to take up for Berkeley on the science here. For years and years and years, Berkeley is known they actually do scientific research on their
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah.
So I will stick up for them on that. Now, could they fudge their findings in the lab? I'm sure they could, but dude, I have nothing bad to say about power bait. You know, the 10-inch power worm just freaking works.
Catches them.
Yeah, and I prefer buying Berkeley stuff, you know, the Max Scent and all that, but the OG stuff like the power worms and some of that, I like power bait a little bit better than I do Max Scent, but I'm not on a smallmouth dominant lake yet. I think if you go up north, you got to go Max Scent.
Here's the biggest thing I would love to see in Max Scent. Totally transparent with everyone on here. It doesn't float, so it's not neutrally buoyant. So when you're not actually actively working that bait, it does have a tendency to lay down on your line, right? As opposed to other plastics that will stay more horizontal. So when you want to dead stick a bait, it doesn't have the same action that you might want or get out of other plastics. That's my downfall. So like when you're fishing a Ned rig, unless those fish are keyed in and it's clear water and they're keyed in on scent, I think there are other baits that stand up better on a Ned rig like Z-Man. But at the same time, I think scent almost makes up for the fact that it doesn't sit out straight on your bait.
Agreed.
That's an interesting take.
That's interesting. I do agree with you, but yeah, no, I'm interested. I think Bailey says, you know, they're just going to attach the word science to stuff, and that's going to be like the new thing. Is like, you know, it was follow the science, and now it's going to be fish the science, and so I think that's going to be the new move. And so like anything that isn't like actually backed by hard data, like where you got to like a team like Berkeley, like Kevin was saying, that's actually been doing real science for a while, you know, I think it's going to be hard pressed for anybody to believe that it's any sort of science other than just, hey, we've slapped this name on this thing. And so I think stuff like that whole just technology and many other baits other than what Berkeley's got going on is going to be underrated, in my opinion.
Do you think Bill Nye would license himself to be put on the package of a fishing lure?
Dude, if it was, I would buy it just because it's Bill.
What about if it was Dr. Fauci?
Oh, Fauci.
Wow. He would, it would be really just not sell.
The F worm.
Really fast. Do you care if we go on a tangent here, Alex?
Sure.
Dude, let's tangent.
We're gonna talk about in the science talk here. I'm gonna go fish with it for the first time tomorrow. But yeah, bait fuel. Have you guys used it yet?
Yeah.
I'm really
I got an
curious.
opinion on it. I want to hear you. I want to hear y'all's first. Go ahead. I'm just gonna leave.
I got a bottle of bait fuel. I just bought it. I was in a couple of pros boats. They're having them worked on by a local dealer electronics thing a few weeks ago. And both pros had a bottle in it, and I just said, well, I guess this stuff, it's the real deal. And they both are like, yeah, I'm not much of a scent guy, but you can definitely tell a difference, especially fishing for smallmouth. So I bought some. Has no smell to it. It's you just put it in there, squirt it in your bag, and you baste it. But what happened? Let's say you only use 2 of your worms, and you forget about it. 3 weeks later, your finesse worms are now Magnum trick worms because they swell up.
It's so true.
So you don't want to base
worms.
Yeah, you just it's kind of like a pump for your other worm, and it just swells after a while.
Yeah, it's water based. So it's like if you were leaving your bait in the water.
Here's where I'm interjecting. Okay. If it is water-based, then just like sexual lubricant that is water-based, as soon as you hit it with water, it goes away. So isn't it by the like logical thinking that if it's a water-based thing that you put on a bait and then you put it in the water, that as soon as it hits the water, it's gone?
That's why you got to
It disperses. It disperses.
You got to base.
The biggest key with bait fuel is the dispersion factor. And this is why I keep mentioning this like dispersion topic. That's why I think people are having a little bit more success with bait fuel when they marinate the bait. Right? But like the other benefit and I guess detractor is that it does inflate your baits and inflate your lures.
Damn, Paul.
So just like sexual lubricant, it makes things inflate, is what you're telling me.
Makes them inflate. Yeah. But it draws the salt out, and so that way it almost like penetrates.
You're going to have to stop, Ben, but this is a PG stream.
It penetrates, and then it disperses.
It's true. Like, so, I took on water with and I had like creature hogs double the size because of that. Yeah, like, it's a legitimate deal.
So if you catch a
I
male
really-
bass using bait fuel and you got a female bass in the live well, will it make it pregnant?
Absolutely.
I think the biggest thing with bait fuel
That sounds
is
conclusive.
is it's not going to hurt me if I use it.
I'm
but
gonna
maybe
be.
it'll
I'm
help
really
me catch
curious.
more fish.
Well, that's what lube's for, is make sure it doesn't hurt. Anyway, go ahead, man.
This has been my theory all along about bait fuel. What if it is literally just lube in a bottle?
Dude,
and
that's
they're
what
just
it
fucking
is.
the industry?
It
They're
is
literally
so
just
what I
fucking with
think
all the
that it-
fishermen in the industry. They're like,
Dude.
oh man, like we're gonna say that it's gonna
I
help them.
really think
It's just Astroglide.
I think they went to China and they were like, "Listen, some Chinese factory was like, listen, we got 10,000 gallons of lube we need to get rid of," and some bait company went, "All right, we're calling it bait fuel. Put it in a bottle. We're sending it out." Like,
They're actually taking the slime from the silver carp in the Tennessee River and then repackaging it as bait fuel.
there you go. That's what
It sounds like something Matt Robertson would be posting right now, but
Okay, let's talk about Matt Robertson. I didn't know the dude was such a good offshore fisherman.
oh,
What?
dude, he's a hammer with everything, dude. Like
He's in
live baits,
14th
offshore
place.
flipping.
He's in 14th place on these smallmouth fishing with ugly sticks, and like the most OG dude. I'm a huge Matt Robertson fan.
Dude, you know how much of my money he's taken in the last 7-8 years?
Oh,
Like, I could pay for my kids' college with the amount of money he's took from me. He's a badass offshore smallmouth fisherman.
Here's
Dude,
the deal.
he
I
fishes
love it,
Kentucky
dude.
Lake, man. That's what he grew up on.
I think what Matt Robertson is just a dude who just fishes.
Hell yeah, he
Like,
is.
he's just like screw anybody's opinion, screw what you should do, screw anything. It's like I'm just gonna go fishing and I'm gonna go catch him. I love dudes like that. Those are my favorite dudes. John Cox is another one of those dudes. It's like I'm just going fishing. Screw everybody's opinion. I'm gonna go out here and I'm just gonna beat your ass. And I love that. Like that is my kind of dude.
I'm not gonna lie, I took Matt's money for several years, and like we're friends, but I never thought of him as a big time threat. And then he just outworked everybody, like just outworked them literally, and it stayed on the lake from dusk till dawn any day he wasn't at work. And then when he got the opportunity, which I think is awesome, he had a good job. He just said, "Take this job and shove it." And
Ain't working here no
I ain't going to work here no more. I'm going to go fish the opens. And that's what he did. And he qualified for the Elite Series, made the Classic 2 or 3 years in a row now. And dude's a hammer. And he's a big old redneck, too.
We can't go into this any more than this comment, but it's a good thing that they didn't change the rules back then. That's all I got to say there.
Ooh, shit. There it is. I want to get me started on that.
Yeah, I'm gonna. That's all I'll say. Hey, if there's a will, there's a way. Let's talk about baits.
Let's do it.
Let's talk about baits.
All right, so let's keep on going here. This thing actually is pretty cool. I love the kamikaze swim on, the original. So the split tail one's cool. You can put it on the back of a spinnerbait. I think that's cool.
It reminds me of the old split tail that they put on, like in the package with the Z-Man chatterbait.
Yes,
way back in the day.
Not a fan of the swim on, by the way.
Why?
Gets hung on your hook.
Yes,
it does. The little holes do.
That's the only reason. Otherwise, it's pretty good.
All right, I'm gonna scroll here until we see something. Like if you see something, just scream stop, and I'll stop.
The hell is that?
That looks like Shrek. That is Shrek.
That's Catchco. That's Catchco. That's bio.
Well, they didn't steal that design from somebody.
I mean, it looks like Shrek. I like it, sort of. Get out my swamp. That's what
it looks like. What's the dude's name from Star Wars that has like the two eyes that come?
Oh, Jar Jar, or Jar Jar Binks.
Yeah,
It's another Jar Jar Binks.
Yeah.
Me's a good bit, I promise. This thing, okay, we got to talk about this just for a minute.
It looks like a shuttlecock.
That's probably the best description of it I've heard yet.
It looks like a shuttlecock. It does look just like a shuttlecock. Yeah, that's what it is. It's interesting. All right, we're gonna keep going.
They should have called it that.
What is this? Not just a biffle bug?
That's what I was thinking.
It's a different head, like the where you.
Oh,
That makes a giant difference.
It's more penis shaped. I like it.
It's gonna be ICAST best of show.
It's for better insertion into the cover, is what it is.
That's right.
Yeah, you go, dude. If you put some bait fuel on that, man, the insertion and penetration you'll
Increased
get
penetration.
the increased penetration and insertion you'll get out of that is just going to be off
53% more penetration.
53% more.
That's the
penetration.
flipping biffle bug.
You got the tongue on the other end, so you can hit it both ways.
That's right. Oh, that is great.
That's amazing.
Oh, Lord of mercy.
I saw
Let's
that
keep-
one in person. The wiggle wag or rhythm wag.
Yeah.
Wiggle
what's-
wag.
It's a drop.
Tell me
It's
about
a
it.
drop shot bait. It's I don't know.
Oh.
It's a drop shot bait.
Okay, drop shot bait. That doesn't interest me. Okay, here we got another live,
Live target.
bait.
Keep
God.
scrolling.
Why?
Live target, keep
Why?
Keep scrolling
That's-
when you see live target. Just
Okay.
That
It
hell is
reminds me of
Dave
the old
Mercer's problem.
That reminds me of the snag proof frog. The old
Yeah, that
one with
thing-
the legs on it.
Yes, dude, that thing never worked. That thing was trash on a cracker. Poor thing. We
Yeah,
have
it's got
pissed
a
off
single hook.
everybody in the industry tonight. I
Okay,
just
let's
want you
talk
to know
about
that.
it. Let's talk about this one.
Okay, let's talk
I'm a
about it.
fan. I'm a
Wait,
fan.
before we talk about it, I do want to give everybody a reminder again about Caleb. That's why we're here tonight. We're raising money to help our buddy Caleb. Caleb fell off a roof, ended up breaking both of his legs, compound fracture in his arm. He's going to quit making fun of the way that I say roof. It's a roof. A roof. A roof. I'm sorry. All right. He fell off a roof while he was working on it, 17 feet straight to the concrete. And when that happened, Caleb obviously sustained some massive injuries, and he is going to be down for at least 8 months. And during that time, Caleb's
Brooks,
not going to
go
be able
with.
to work. He's not going to be able to provide for his family. And so we're raising money tonight for Caleb to help him to just counteract some of the expenses that are going to be put on his life over the next few months, including medical bills, gas, groceries, just normal house stuff like the electric bill, the water bill, so on and so forth. And so if you want to help out Caleb and you want to help out our friend, we're giving you an awesome opportunity because not only you're just going to donate, you're going to have a chance to win some stuff. And so we're doing a raffle. For every $1 that you donate, you're going to be entered to win either a TFO rod, a Berkeley bait package that includes a slobber knocker and a bunch of other unreleased baits, 3 months of the Monster Bass subscription box, and or a custom-made wooden cutting board that was provided by the good people over at First Choice Insurance. So if that sounds like something that you want to help out and you want to help Caleb out and give to this awesome giving opportunity, go to alexredfishing.com or go visit the description of any of the platforms that you're watching on. For every $1 that you give, it is 1 entry into the raffle. So if you give $25, that is 25 entries into the raffle. And as of right now, according to my beautiful wife who is running the show behind the scenes, we can see her here. Just
Hi.
Hi.
Alex
She
just drops her in for no.
there she is.
Like no warning. She could be.
No warning. Doing anything. $3,500 is what we have raised so far. So let's get this
Ayo.
thing to $4,000, guys. I really believe that we can do it before the night's over. If we can get this thing to $4,000, it just takes a few of you guys giving $10, and man, we're there. And so let's help our buddy out. Let's help to offset some of these bills. And just for anybody wondering, if you do go and donate, make sure that you sign up for the newsletter, because the newsletter is going to be how we distribute a lot of the information about who won. But we're also going to be posting it on Instagram and our YouTubes and everything like that. But make sure you're subscribed to that newsletter because of that. And also because that's where I'm going to post pretty much the proof that we gave the money to where we said we were going to give the money. That's one thing that I truly, truly believe in, that if you're going to give me money to then give to a cause, that I need to show you 100% of where the money went. And so I'm going to make sure and have the documentation that shows money in, money out, and that it is in Becca's hands, who is Caleb's wife, and that money is where it needs to be. So I truly believe in doing stuff like that. So make sure you sign up for that newsletter. Make sure that you're following all of us so that you can see that information. But without further ado, let's talk about this missile baits worm, because I'm interested by it. People seem to be interested by it. I don't know enough about it. So y'all please inform me. You three beautiful human beings, inform me.
Well, so one of my good friends in the industry, if you can hear me, one of my good friends in the industry is Byron Childers over at Missile Baits. He's a great dude. I've had him on some streams. He's an OG. So basically, Missile and Robo had a collaboration. Missile wanted a bigger, kind of beefier finesse worm. John loves the Robo worm, but they don't make a bigger, beefy worm. Maybe that Ned worm they have is really actually about the biggest round thing they got. So Missile drew up the molds and everything. how they wanted it, and RoboWorm shot them. There's 15 in the pack, so they are a little pricey, but there's 15 in the pack. All the colors are exclusive to missile baits, so you won't see like these colors in, a RoboWorm. Now they may have similar ones, but so this is kind of a do-it-all kind of finesse trick worm, a little bit thicker. You can Nico rig it, wacky rig it, shaky head, Texas rig, whatever, but it's the same plastic and color pores as RoboWorm's doing it. So actually, when they get done, they ship them the missile baits. So a couple of dealers are like, man, how does Tackle Warehouse have them before us? Well, Tackle Warehouse just right down the road from RoboWorm. You can buy these now. So that's kind of the deal on this. And I heard they're working on a bigger one, like a 9-inch one. So
That's really
So-
cool.
Here's my thought on this whole thing. I love a 6-inch fat RoboWorm, right?
so
It's
does my
a
wife.
phenomenal. it's a phenomenal Nico rig bait. It's the drop shot worm that Dirds and I fish a lot. My problem is the price, because I was gonna buy some and I'm like, man, it's $11 for a pack of 10 or a pack of what 15
15.
versus $4.99 for the pack of, I think it's 8 RoboWorms that you get. So like that was my only hold up here. I think it's phenomenal that RoboWorm and Missile is getting together and making this. There's some really cool colors. I would say it's adequately rated and people are hyping it up, and people should be hyping it up because it's going to catch fish, but it's also like the price is what's holding me back from buying those over RoboWorm.
Well, you get a pack of Zoom Magnum trick worms. There's only like 7 or 8 in a pack.
That's true.
They're $6.99 at Dick's Sporting Goods. They're going up everywhere. So if you say, well, 15 of them, yeah, you're looking at $10.99, $11.99. So it's pretty competitive. I'm not going to say it's overrated or underrated. I think right now it's right there in the middle. It's really, this is the time of year you really need to be throwing that bait. And, you can buy them right now and go try them. TW has them. You can use Alex's link or whoever's.
Hey,
Yeah,
thank you.
Schmitty was catching them on Pickwick, throwing it on the ledge with a Nico rig.
Yeah.
I like
It's a great bait. I mean, it's just like it's a similar bait to the RoboWorm, and I'm interested by the reverse ridges that they use, like on the 48.
I like stuff like this. I know it's just a worm, but I like baits like the Berkeley Stinger, we talked about earlier. I like versatile stuff. So if I'm going pond hopping, or I'm going with a friend or whatnot, I can throw something like this or that Stinger or, whatever that I can do multiple different things with. So I'm not just stuck with a bunch of baits. Well, we're not going to be doing this today. Well, shit, I brought that. I guess I can't do nothing with it.
Yeah, dude, you can drop shot, you can Nico rig, you can shaky head. This is a bait you can do a lot of things with. It's not just a 4.5-inch RoboWorm that you're going to put on a drop shot.
Correct.
I mean, this is a very versatile bait.
Well, I like the fact that it's a collaboration. I didn't know that. I think that that's cool. I think that I would love to see more of that within the industry, is these companies like coming together and collaborating. You know what I mean? I find that interesting. I find that cool. I don't know. It's just, that's cool to me. And I'm going to agree that it's adequately rated right where it needs to be for me right now. I have a lot of opinions on plastics being plastics, and there's very few unique shapes anymore. But I think Kevin's right in the fact that this seems to be a very versatile piece of plastic that can do a little bit of everything. So I dig it. I think it's cool.
What about collaborations with anglers and putting your name on rods specific or rod series, sort of like golf clubs, or excuse me, hockey stick bends?
Get your
right?
dog.
Like, you guys aren't hockey players, but like,
Whoa.
I mean, other than Bailey played like collegiately. He's a scrub, but
Facts.
Just kidding. But like, I'm very interested in anglers having like rod series with specific actions to their style of fishing.
AKA Abu Garcia's new pro series. Right?
Abu,
Luz does it.
Sixth Sense does it. Luz does it. I think it's a very interesting way to sell product, similar to the way that hockey sticks sell. Because
you know what's super interesting?
Bought Iserman curves or Osgood curves or Jonathan Quick curves, like because I like the way they played hockey.
You know what's super interesting? So Abu, I think it's 8 pros that have like 2 rods each in this new pro series. and John Cox has 2, and one of his is a shallow crankbait rod.
But dude, he throws that frit side so much.
But dude, he didn't start until last year. He won
Yeah,
a
that's-
tournament on it at Rayburn. It's first
That's
time ever
true.
throwing a
That's true.
crankbait.
He better have a wacky worm rod too.
He does. He does.
Oh,
It's an all-purpose spinning.
Listen. I've done like made it known like I need 3 of those. Okay, and you want to know why? Plain and simple fact: I can use my 7-foot spinning rod that I got now because I like it. I just want it because it's John Cox's. Like it's the same deal like you said with the hockey stick, dude. Like I don't fanboy over pro fishermen. Like I just don't. But John Cox is the fucking man, and so I gotta have his spinning rod just cause.
His shallow crankbait rod is actually a really good topwater rod.
Oh,
Huh,
I
say
can
that.
see that. I mean, I use a crankbait rod for a topwater rod, so
Especially if you throw braid.
I throw braid. So there you
you
go. I mean, I may have to have 2 of them. All right, let's keep on. Go ahead, man. I'm sorry.
I was gonna say apparently I'm showing a little too much Yankee in the comments.
Yes.
I'll show you some Yankee,
Whoa.
Yankee. And listen, I'll get that bait fuel out with that good penetration from that biffle bug head, and I'll show you some
Good
Yankee
God.
Panky.
I think Caleb was the first one that ever called me a Yankee, and I was actually confused at first when he called me Yankee.
You never heard that?
No, I mean I understood what it meant.
Have you
but
ever
at
had
first-
sweet tea, Bailey?
When I've had sweet tea in the north, but I've had real sweet tea every time I go below Ohio.
I just don't see that. I just don't see the excitement about
You shut
tea
your
and
whore
sweet
mouth.
tea.
Seriously?
Dude, shut your whore mouth before you get started. Okay,
Sweet tea
I
is
know
to
it.
die for. Real sweet tea, I'll say.
All right, let's keep
This
going.
is interesting. That's
All right.
interesting. That
Chunky D looks badass.
Chunky
It
D.
does.
Listen, you got to put some bait fuel on your Chunky D.
So
'Cause-
Berkeley's coming out with that new
It
Shape
looks
108.
similar to a
108.
bait that Berkeley had out last year
the cash
Crash
Crow?
crawl.
that I've never been able to buy. Every time I get on Tackle Warehouse, that some bitch is out of stock unless it's a green pumpkin.
Maybe you should check Omnia Fishing then.
Or just wait till Tackle Warehouse comes back in stock. No.
Or you just ask your buddy who can send you some.
Yeah, I'll just go over to Robertson's house and trade him out a 6-pack
That
of
too.
PBR. Be all right.
Yeah.
It's like a D-bomb with flapping.
So
cross.
when did the flange become available for everybody to use? Because it seems like the past couple of years, everybody started to put a flange on everything where we couldn't put a flange on it before because Strike King had it pinned down. Did the patent run up or what happened? Or did everybody just be like, all right, we're just doing it because whatever?
They probably added like a quarter of an inch outside the plastic or something.
It only takes like a 10% change. And so Steve Parks owns the patent for the Rage flange.
Mhm,
And, he licensed that out to the Googans.
mhm.
Strike King was not very happy about that, by the way. And it seems like ever since that's happened, people have been kind of modifying their flange. So I wouldn't be surprised if the patents run out, dude. Rage Tail's been out for a long, long time. I'm pretty sure the patent on the Chatterbait blade connection's running out pretty soon as well.
Yeah,
like
it is.
in the next year and a half or something.
We have our worst comment of the night in the chat.
Yeah, what's that?
It's from Paul saying cash and rods are good.
I've
I
never
don't
even
know.
used a
I've
cash
never
and
even
rod.
fished them. That's not fair for me to even.
I've
make
never
a-
even
a
seen one in
giggle at.
person.
If you want to use hot garbage rubber band rods, that's basically what it compares
Hot
to.
garbage.
So my experience from retail, man, they broke a lot the first couple of years. I mean, it was number 1 or number 2 in the most broken rod behind a Veritas. No, that was a
let's
long
talk
time
about
ago.
These ones. Alex,
These-
don't skip them.
Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
these. Here we go.
Oh God, y'all talk about your drop shot baits. I'm gonna be sitting here if you leave me.
This is a walleye bait. Okay, so I bought the CJ Smasher for $7 for 5. It's a Laztec.
The CJ Smasher with bait fuel on it.
It's a Laztec?
It's a Laztec. It's a walleye bait called a Wyandotte worm, and it's 3 inches long. It's very underwhelming when you receive one in the pack, and it's a giant pack, and you get 5.
That is one thing though I did learn from when I drew Chris Johnson in an open was that for smallmouth they never drop shot anything over 3 inches.
I'll drop something over 3 inches.
Hey, they make a crap ton of money.
It catches
So
a lot
I
of
will
fish.
not
I
knock
just
their
want to
stuff.
let you. I just want to let both y'all know we stopped for this for you guys to sit here awkwardly and talk about drop shot baits. Can we keep moving now?
Yeah, we can keep moving, but
Okay, thank you.
it's very underwhelming shape. It probably catches fish because it doesn't matter what you put on a drop shot.
Underrated, overrated,
Minnow shaped.
Overrated.
Overrated.
overrated. Drop shotting,
I'm gonna go
underrated,
under.
overrated, overrated.
Underrated.
Underrated.
All right, let's keep going. Okay. What is this? The Strike King Rage Scone Bug?
Sconebug.
Scone Bug. What is it? It's 3 to 3.5 inch
Flipping
crawl
bait.
imitator. So it's a flipping bait.
Probably underrated. It looks like a cricket. It's
Looks like a
probably going to
speed
catch
crawl.
a bunch of fish.
It's a
Yeah,
speed
speed
crawl.
crawl too.
It does look like a speed crawl, yeah. Huh,
It's probably
I
going to
like
catch
it.
a ton of fish.
yeah, I like it too. Looks good. So let's talk about, because we're here, let's talk about a power bait that's not on here for some reason. What is it called? Bailey Shape
108.
108.
It's because they're
Things-
not available till fall.
Okay, well, they're interesting. Very interesting. Like, it falls very slowly because of how big the claws are.
It's enormous.
And I like a flipping bait or a Texas rig bait that falls that slowly. Me and Ben have had this discussion before. It's like when I was using the swim jig with the big space monkey on the back of it. Those oscillating, instead of it doing like the normal flappity flap, it does the oscillating, which slows down a 3/8 ounce swim jig almost to like a freaking creep. And so I love those big flanged baits like that because I've always had a ton of success with them. But that's a very interesting shape, and this kind of reminds me of that as far as just like little bitty body, small profile. But the only difference is, I mean, you guys got to imagine it's got these enormous freaking claws on that thing. So
Yeah, it falls.
Have
very
you
slow.
have you flipped the 108 like Texas rig wise yet?
yes, and I've caught a few on it.
Do the tails actually kick on the Texas rig when it's
Yeah.
going down?
On and off, they'll like turn on themselves.
See, I flipped it on a jig and the tails don't go. The tails just stay straight as it falls in the jig, but as soon as you go up, they go crazy.
Yeah, they go crazy, but they turn on themselves on the way down. They don't really like drag that much water.
Okay.
I'm
I think
flipping
it's the
it.
skirt.
I'm flipping it unpegged, and I've found that if you flip it unpegged, that it flaps. But if you flip it with a weight on the front of it, that it just like drags it straight down to the bottom. Just saying, putting that out there.
Goat Toad, wasn't this out last year?
No, the baby goat or something like that.
Oh,
So is
I
this
thought
the
this was-
thing? Is this the thing that they crowdsource the development of it?
Yes.
So that's pretty cool. Let's talk about that for a minute. Crowdsourcing an entire bait design from the people who are going to be buying the bait. I think that is like a really, really, really cool concept that literally nobody else is doing in the industry. Like they're going, here's a pro. We're either going to just slap their name on this bait and say they designed it, or actually let the pro design the bait. But the crowdsourcing of a bait and getting the input from a bunch of different people, I find that fascinating, and I find that a great way to sell a lot of baits and to build its own hype. I mean, it's its own hype machine.
and they did the same thing with a couple other smaller baits called like the larvae or something
Mhm.
from this company called Block. I've seen them all over Instagram lately. Blocks.
Yeah, they're all like
They,
3D designed and all kinds
Yeah.
of stuff.
yeah, it's very cool. It's very cool.
Yeah, crowdsourcing is cool. I think that's a fascinating concept. I mean, it works in so many other industries, right? You know, whether it's outdoor or computer or gaming or whatever it is, you know, these crowdsourced companies that make these crowdsourced products. I think that's cool. So I think seeing that more in the fishing industry could be a really, really cool concept.
It's also interesting to see. Oh God, I had a very cool thing to say. Basically, see people hype product before it's actually out. Right? Sixth Sense does a phenomenal job with this. Ben Milliken, Hugh Baxter, like these guys talking about product before it's out and like being able to sort of hype it up before you even show what the product is.
I'm gonna be honest.
lot of-
I have to actually have it in my hand or use it before I really will talk about it. And Casey and Sixth Sense does a really good job of getting me stuff months before it ever hits social media or anything. I've had them send me more prototypes. And I'll be honest. I've had stuff from them, and I've called Casey and said, "Look, bro, you're gonna have to change this because it's doing this and doing that." And you know what? He takes the feedback, and I've seen them make changes to stuff where me and me or Ben or some other pro staff guys say, hey, we like this, but you got to do this and this to it if you want to catch more fish. So I respect that.
I think
That's
Paul's
cool.
just out here to piss me off now. He's just saying most overrated bite in the world is a frog bite.
Paul, hush, get out of here.
Can we
be
block
done.
Paul? Can we block Paul, please?
I mean,
don't
we
want him
could.
commenting anymore.
We totally could, or we could just bring him in here and you can berate him yourself.
I just mute him so that I can get every word out and just go. Yeah, it'd be bad. I'll get canceled though if I do that. I'm actually texting Paul a hate message right now.
No, but yeah, no, Kevin, you're right, dude. I mean, like that's one thing that I've appreciated about working with Berkeley is that they were getting me these baits that were coming out and like they were getting them in my hands months before they're going to hit the market. And it allows me to get to know them. It allows me to hop them up. It allows me to build the hype around them. And I think companies that do that are the companies that are successful when they do launch a new product. And like when they actually listen to feedback. That was the one thing. Like I was asked, Nathan asked me a lot of questions about the slobber knocker and I gave him very, very honest feedback about it. And there was adjustments made before this bait's going to be available to make sure that this bait is at the pinnacle that it can be when it gets in the customer's hand. And I think that's huge in any concept, whether it's 6 Cents, whether it's Berkeley, whether it's whoever. When I worked with Strike King and Lose, man, I didn't know what was coming out until it came out. Whereas, with Berkeley, I know what's coming out before it's coming out, months before it comes out. And it allows me to be effective in being able to communicate to people who watch my channel, hey, is this good or hey, is this not? Because me and Kevin are very in the same vein that like, even though we're sponsored by a company and work with a company, guess what? I'm still going to be brutally honest with you about whether I like it or not. And
Absolutely.
so, I mean, I don't know, dude. I think companies that do that are the successful companies in the industry.
And I mean, at the end of the day, I would rather, if I'm a company, I want to work with somebody that's got an honest opinion and doesn't mind putting it out there. Because at the end of the day, they want you to sell baits, sell product.
Yep.
You're not going to be a good spokesman for something if you know it doesn't work or you're not confident. And I'll be 100% honest with you. There's some 6 Cents baits I don't talk about because I'm not confident in them or I don't use them. They just don't work for me. And some people love them. So you could probably say the same thing about Berkeley or Strike King or anything else like that. So if I go fishing with something, I tell you, hey guys, this thing's the deal. This is what it does. I'm not saying you have to have them, but add a few to your tackle box. I think people go, they know they're not risking their hard-earned dollar to go buy a couple baits.
Exactly.
That's right.
And see, and like Ben is going to have a vastly different experience with drop shot baits than I am. Like I can't tell you that the hit worm is a good worm because guess what? I don't throw it enough to say that it's a good worm, but like I can tell you that a max scent creature hog is a phenomenal bait because it's something that I throw a lot. So yeah, definitely. All right, boys. So is there anything else that we want to talk about before we start wrapping this thing up? Because we've been going almost 2 hours. I know you guys are probably tired. I have to get up at 4 o'clock in the morning and go fish a fishing tournament. And we raised $3,500 for our good friend, Kayla Bell.
We're halfway
That's
through
awesome.
the baits, though.
We are.
No, we're
We have-
entirely through the baits. We're
we're
through.
through. We have a 13 fishing trout, a 10,000 fish.
We're at 51 out of 133.
It's the rest of it's rods.
Yeah. I mean,
You don't want to talk about that amazing rod that's on the screen right now? It's revolutionary.
I don't see a rod. I see a dog turd.
There it is. There it is. Now, I do have to say these Fenwick Elite Basses are freaking awesome. I've been using them. That's what my flipping stick is and my spinning rod, and I got a cranking rod, and they're really good. I dig them.
So those older guys, East Tennessee guys, I know my former Berkeley rep, his name's Tim Hoskins. You may know him, right? But
I've heard his name.
He loves the old Fenwick, I think it was Elite Tech drop shot rod. And there are guys that will pay like $300 for that thing.
This
They had a
has
bronze
replaced the
back
Elite
series back in the day that was really good, and they discontinued the whole series.
So the new Fenwick Elites are a huge stride towards what they're trying to make Fenwick into, and just wait for next year because it's going to be like they're putting all their chips into Fenwick.
Just wait for next year. It sounds like a Tennessee fan.
I'm from Buffalo, so that's what I gotta say. You know?
Don't get my hopes up, okay? Yeah, no, for real, man. These rods are amazing. They're a little heavy, but honestly, I like it because it helps to balance. And I mean, I don't mind. I'm also not like Ben knows. Everybody knows that knows me. I'm like not super into like. I don't know. I'm very rudimentary. The shit works. I mean, these rods just work, and I've not snapped one yet. Like, and so
We're just
man,
saying a lot. We're just saying a lot.
yeah, I'm hype about it. Like, I'm slack line hooks setting 5-pounders and boat flipping them with a 7.6 medium heavy, and like nothing's come apart yet. So I'm impressed. I like them a lot. I can't wait to see what Fenwick does because, like what Kevin said, the old East Tennessee dudes, like my dad had a bunch of Fenwick rods. I mean, that's like some old school East Tennessee. It's like almost like gets like a warm, fuzzy, like nostalgic feeling in my belly when I see a Fenwick logo. And so I can't wait to see what happens with Fenwick. It's going to be cool. But is there anything else you boys want to talk about? You want to look at? Is there anything else we want to mention before we start wrapping this thing
What
up?
about the assault rifle from St. Croix?
The assault rifle from St.
Have you seen this thing? Look at this.
Oh, dude, that's gonna win.
Oh.
best,
It's like a
best
Tommy
of
gun.
category. That's gonna win best of category for rods, but I bet you it does.
What is it?
Swim bait models featuring.
It's for big swim baits, dude. They're taking the design that muskie fishermen use for throwing big baits all day long, where it's more like ergonomically and like less stress on your arm for throwing big baits. I mean, picture it. It's like either you're gripping the underside of a reel, throwing a big glide bait, or you're throwing you're holding a pistol grip. And I mean, you're basically skiing. You know, I'm not gonna do that motion on camera. I'm not gonna get made fun of. But it's
Come
like
on, let me see it. Let me see it. Put some bait fuel on it and let me see it. Do it now.
I'm just about to leave. I'm gonna see you guys later.
He's like, this is too violent for me. I'm done.
But no, I bet you that wins best of category for rods.
Oh, Paul Heels says, "Are there any buckets? Is Yeti coming out with anything new this year?"
Oh, listen. I've been doing some Chinese sourcing on Yeti stuff, and you can get them buckets made for about $15 a piece in China, and they're selling for $115 at the freaking Academy Sports. It's absolutely ridiculous. That's all I'm going to say about that. And there you go.
Kistler trash, lose trash.
Hey, I'm gonna be. Hey, I'm gonna be straight up with you, Bailey. I got a Kistler rod. Reel. They sent me for $3 free. Didn't pay me or nothing, so just use it. And if you like it, and to be honest, some bitch has been a tank. Like it casts really good.
As good as the Guggen Squad Gold Series casting reel.
I guarantee you.
I guarantee it.
I'll trust you.
Oh, Lord of mercy. All right, boys. We're going to start wrapping this.
Just fast scroll.
I'm going to. Hold on. I just want to tell everybody this is last chance for donations and raffle chances. So, again, I've said it 100 times already in this live stream. All 119 of you guys that's in here right now, just go give $1, enter the raffle, get a chance to win something for me. I do appreciate everybody that's giving any kind of money tonight. I know that right now, times are tough. Let's be real and let's be honest. Gas is freaking expensive. Groceries are freaking expensive. We all know how expensive life is. And so for anybody that gave any money tonight, I truly, truly do appreciate you doing that. And so I love you guys for that. But just know that as expensive as life is right now for us, it's going to be expensive for Caleb too, especially when you add on medical bills, especially when you add on just normal life stuff and, you know, everything he's going to have to go through. He's not going to be able to work a normal job for at least 8 months of his life. And so anything to go towards Caleb to help is going to be amazing. And the $3,500 we've already raised is absolutely amazing. But let's end this the next few minutes here. Let's try to push it up to 4,000. Let's wrap this thing up, put a big bow right on top of it, and let's have a chance to win some really cool stuff. So again,
how long are you going to leave that on your website, Alex?
So that was actually kind of what I was going to get into next. I think I'm going to let it run till Sunday at midnight.
Okay.
And that way it gives everybody a chance to get in and to be a part of the donations. I think raffle donations though, or raffle to win prizes. I think I'm gonna here. Let's do some crowdsourcing opinions real quick. I just said crowdsourcing is good. I was thinking cut the raffles off tonight, but let donations run through midnight Sunday. Or should we let raffles run through midnight Sunday too with donations? You tell me.
I think just cut it off tonight. It's going to be hard to keep track of it after tonight. And I think people are giving out of the goodness of their heart. Like if they're not watching tonight, they maybe just want to give out of the goodness of their heart. And a lot of people are probably just giving for Caleb. So
Yeah, absolutely.
I agree.
I'm going to try to stream Sunday night, and I want to make sure. That's why I asked you, because I'd like to run a little promo, whatever you want to call it. See if some of the viewers maybe on my stream that it's unfortunate if they don't watch this one. Maybe they don't know about it. I'd love to get Caleb some extra money. He's a super nice guy. I met him at the East Tennessee Fishing Show years ago, and he's just a great dude.
Absolutely.
And you know, this is the cool thing about the fishing community. Sometimes I rag on it with the guys with jerseys and the no live scope crowd, and let's change it back to the 80s. But when something happens to somebody close in the fishing community / YouTube, everybody here knows Caleb. He's friends with Mikey Balls and a lot of guys. They rally the troops, and we take care of our people.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Damn
And that's what's
straight.
so awesome about
You
the fishing
damn right.
community. You damn right. So again, to reiterate what we've decided, raffle ends tonight as soon as the live stream's over. So any money donated until we're done and I hit end is going to go in toward the raffle. I'm going to cut off donations Sunday night at midnight for this one, just for my sanity and Bethany's sanity on getting all the money together and getting it where it needs to be. And then if you feel so obligated, if you're listening to this 2 weeks from now on the podcast, or you're watching this 2 weeks from now on somebody's channel, go to the GoFundMe that Caleb has set up, and we'll make sure and link it down below too, so that you can give money that way. But right now, if you're wanting to enter the raffle, alexredfishing.com, every dollar that you donate is one entry into the raffle and gives you a chance to win all the prizes that we talked about. But let's get back into this for just a few minutes. We'll kind of quick scroll, talk about anything that catches our eye, and then we'll wrap this thing up. All
Also,
right.
Alex, I want to thank you for randomly having me on tonight. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. Ben was like, get Kevin in here, and I was like, yes, we need him here now.
I told him I was going to be pretty tame. I feel I was.
yeah.
I like it. I like untamed. I like tame. It's whatever. I don't care. Durabreed.
Oh.
I like the
I don't-
name.
Get it at Walmart.
Right.
Hey, did you see that? It's not on here, but there's a little banner for the Tatula XT. I'm not sponsored by Dial or anything, but back in the day, those XT rods for $99 are some of the best rods you can get, and they're relaunching them. They've redesigned them. I think if you're a guy that wants to have a high-end feeling rod, but you don't have that budget, I think you'll want to look at that Tatula XT. That's going to be a good one.
Yeah, Paul, look at that one. Get rid of those cash and crap.
Damn, bro.
God bless.
I mean, just kick him right in the nuts. Why don't you? No, I did have some of those XT rods. They were the kitty's titties, man. I really like them things.
Yeah, I'm selling an XT frog rod right now. Actually, somebody bought it. Never mind.
I like
Sorry.
their cranking rods a lot. I like the way they load it up.
I've heard they have a good chatterbait rod.
I just want to go V hard on y'all.
God, who is
Got 'em.
that? What company makes?
Thought that
it?
said
that's
toenail.
Sunline.
The Sunline America Tornado V Hard FC leader. Sunline America V Hard leader has been
40.
taken.
Oh God, 45-yard spools for $23.
What?
Woo! It says it's been taken to another level with the Sunline exclusive Plasma Rise technology. In this case, Plasma Rise is used to create a hard glass-like polymer layer on the surface of the line. This treatment creates the ultimate abrasion-resistant surface to repel
Ben's mad.
damage,
okay.
any damage
I
in the
love
water.
Sunline. I love Sunline Sniper.
What?
Oh, I do too.
I hate their plasma coated lines. The Assassin, it has no feel. They're very thick compared to like overall diameter. Just use the Sniper and the general stuff. Like this is so
awesome.
unnecessary.
Or just don't use Sunline.
Sunline's
awesome,
great.
Brooks.
Don't talk to me that way.
Sunline.
Dude, I love Assassin. That's my favorite fluorocarbon out there. I don't know
Really?
I don't know how you can't feel the bottom with it. I can feel them sniff on Assassin.
Ben, the fact that you're a smallmouth guy and you don't use Gamma blows my mind.
I've never
As-
bought Gamma. It's just
As a
cost
guy who
me.
came from using copolymer to fluorocarbon, I'm probably sure I could use like the cheapest fluorocarbon man-made, and like I'm gonna feel like a rat's farting on it. So
Dude, Matt Robertson used to use Omniflex. No shit, biting the 600-yard spools at Walmart for $5.
Dude, there ain't nothing wrong with that. Let's be honest. I mean, like, I'm going big game and freaking trilene. You can't beat trilene. I'm sorry. You just can't. It's the shit. It's that trilene, what is it? The red pack.
XT,
XL,
XT.
XT, yeah.
Yeah, XT, dude. That was the stuff. That's what, like, all Dad used to buy. Because we not fished so much that we had to have something that would glow in the dark
Yes.
and we could use during the day. Yeah. There you go. Super braid. Everybody, okay, braid
garbage.
Can we?
What
Can we
about that
talk
frog box? Have you seen the frog box?
I haven't, but we'll get to it
Yeah,
in just a
I
second.
have.
But can we talk about braid? Braid is braid, right? Like, I've never used any braid that I thought, man, that's really good braid. Like, I just use braid and braid's braid. That's just me. Am I
Go
just
use
rudimentary?
cheap spider wire, then go use like Sunline FX2 braid. There's a huge difference.
Okay, so
Yeah.
maybe,
Or just ditch the Sunline and use Seagar Smackdown.
Worst braid ever made.
What? I'm
Debate,
out, boys.
go.
I'm out, boys. See you later.
all right. You both get 1 minute. Kevin, you go first
What am I get 1 minute on?
on why it's the best or the worst braid ever. Go.
I bought a spool for Bait Junior spinning rod, and I couldn't even tie knots. This stuff was just breaking. It frayed really bad. It knotted up. I ran a leader to it, and then I told somebody that's sponsored by Seagar. I'm not gonna mention their name. If you know me, you probably know them. I said, "What's up with this? Did I get a bad spool?" And they just said, "Junk. Don't ever use it."
For Smackdown?
Yes.
Wow.
And I've never had good luck with that. I went to X Plasma on the spinning rod or Power Pro, and I've never had an issue.
All right, your
See, I
minute.
can't use Power
You
Pro
get a
either.
minute. Go.
I don't need a minute. I
like Power Pro
tried
4.
Sunline and I tried Power Pro and I broke both of them and I haven't gone back since I used Smackdown and haven't had a single issue.
I like 4. I like 4 carrier braids. I don't fish any 8s or 9s. There's no it's just too slick. It doesn't have any feel. I can't get over it. So I use X5 or Power Pro.
I'm also a
for
big
mine.
Fireline fan for spinning.
No, you're not.
I am.
No, leave right now.
Good
I am.
God.
I'm just
You're-
saying.
You're
It's
getting
good.
you're getting too Matt Robertson for me, Bailey.
Listen,
Get
I
outta here.
got a 1,000-yard spool of 50-pound X5 and a 1,000-yard spool of 10-pound or 20-pound X5, and I put the 20-pound on my spinner rods and the 50 on my frog rod and my punching rod, and I just don't really see no reason. And I got a 6,000-yard spool of 20-pound trilene 100% fluorocarbon, a 1,000-yard spool of the fluor coat for all my cranking shit. And I mean, dude, I just don't need anything else. It's like my life. And
Dude, Trilane 100% fluorocarbon is the most underrated fluorocarbon line out there. That shit is good.
I
The
slackline
struggle
hooks
is when
at
you
it.
go- it's bad when you go to smaller sizes. The smaller diameter stuff, you have to go to the XL.
It's about the
not
best worm
even-
fishing line I've ever used.
You're right when you get to like 12 to 15 pound tests, but anything less than that, the diameter is too big. It impacts the way your bait comes through the water, especially for drop shot or spy bait or jerk bait. Can't use it.
Jerk your bait.
I like the XL. Anyways, continue.
Continue.
There you go, right there.
Interesting, but not game.
It's not new.
These
It's a
two.
swing head, all right?
Custom swing head. You can put your own hook on.
Yeah, Mustangs
Strike King
had
did
that.
that.
Freedom Tackle did it for Strike King.
There you go.
Yeah, I avoid.
Might be the only thing they've ever done
What's
good.
what's the benefit of this weight and shape?
It has the wider base, so your knot can go in there without being beat on by the weight.
For anybody that's listening on audio, this looks like a butt plug. Let's keep going. Mustad now. Yeah, Spro tungsten weights. Okay, tungsten putty seems like cancer in a tin jar.
$12 an ounce.
It's it's cancer, dude. It's because we can't you can't press tungsten in America because the powder is so carcinogenic. How the hell are we making it into a putty and it's not carcinogenic?
We
thought it
thought
was
the
a
Chinaman do it.
It goes from a like you can manipulate the putty when it's warm to immediately a hard tungsten when it gets in the water and cools down.
It still looks like a brownie.
It looks like a cancer brownie is what it looks like. That seems like cancer to me. It's
like
fascinating.
heroin.
Everything's cancer.
It kind of does. All right, let's keep going here. This is the stupidest thing that I think I could ever imagine. A backlit box. Because if it's dark outside and you have a backlit box, number one, it's going to blind you because it's shining in your eyes. But then number two, if the baits are covering the lights, then how the hell do you see anything?
True.
It's for night fishing.
Sounds like lure lock.
All right, frog box.
I
This
think
is
that's
actually-
badass.
That's
It's
really actually
sweet.
really cool.
It's
It's
sweet,
really
but it
cool.
holds like 9 frogs, 10
50.
frogs.
Now,
Doesn't
if you
hold
could make that
big
same
frogs.
technology there to hold your swim baits, now you got something.
Yes.
Oh, that's cool.
Just you
It'd
wait,
be
Kev.
huge.
Send me my check, Plano.
I have a spinnerbait box.
Just
from
you
Plano,
wait,
and
Kev.
That thing is so big, I don't know where to put it in the box, like in my boat. It is enormous. It's huge.
Well, just take out your 50,000 flatworms and you'll have some room.
I'd rather have my flatworms.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I'd rather have a flatworm. I like the frog box. My frogs are all just jumbled in one big box, a little bit of baby powder thrown on them, and yeah, I mean, I'm old school, but I do like that. I want one of those just because it's cool. I like it.
It is cool. I just don't throw a frog enough.
You can get these made in China for probably $35, and they're selling it for $299. Just so everybody knows. All right, let's keep going.
Bait fuel.
Bait fuel. There it is. Put that on there for penetration. Good
I'm using that
penetration.
tomorrow.
Don't die. Stackable lithium trolling motor battery.
That's
Interesting.
crazy. I don't know if this is real. I don't know if it's going to be useful, but it's very crazy that if you can have stackable trolling motor batteries.
I feel like that's a pretty accessible technology.
Are
that
they
someone
selling
just
the
needs.
case, or are they selling the case and the battery, or is this like legitimately the battery that they're selling?
Most compatible battery with power pole charge with easy use interlocking simply.
Oh, with the power. So is PowerPole selling this thing? LithiumBatteryCompany.com. This is real clever.
I like the name. Seems legit.
Hashtag SEO.
Hashtag don't die. Yeah, so they're stackable. They're just interlockable. You buy one, you can buy multiple, and you stack them right on top of each other. And the more you stack them, the more power you get.
Oh my God, it's $2,600 for a 36-volt system, though. That's
So much for the
crazy.
working man.
Right.
Mercy.
I don't even care about the additional like speed or whatever. I don't even know the benefits of lithium, so I can't be a bitch. But
It doesn't
That's
often result in more speed. Who was it? Carl that put AGMs back in his boat and gained a mile per hour when he put them in there.
That's right.
Yeah, it's all about balance of the boat. My boat's the same exact way. Okay, these freaking graph mounts are getting out of control. I mean, eventually, like Ben said, it's going to be augmented reality. It's just going to be put right into our glasses, and we won't have to have them up in our ball sack.
I'm gonna
Okay,
put
this thing.
3 Solixes on my Hobie next year.
Yeah, well,
No,
that's
you're
because you smoke a lot of crack.
No.
Yeah, he's totally gonna do it. Don't act like you're not going to. All right, this net interests me. It's a Fraybill net that it's a weight net. Now, me and Ben were both talking about the fact that we grab the fish out of the net and we take pictures and we mess with it. But it is cool to think a weight net. I mean, that's actually just kind of cool. I don't know. I've never seen it before, so it piques my interest. I don't think I'll ever have one, but it is kind of fascinating.
you will
Crazy,
have one.
crazy.
Like, let's not even joke. You will have one. But it's interesting. It's never going to be accurate because you're going to have so much water weight in the net. But it's interesting. This
What is the
LiveScope XR extended range. It's meant for like deep water.
It's for saltwater guys.
Yeah, it's for saltwater people, or
You wanna know
like
something?
trout trolling guys.
I knew a guy that was in the Navy who said that Garmin had developed LiveScope to spot enemy craft in the water.
That's right. That's right.
He said that the kind of technology that they had like in like 2013 when he was in the Navy would blow what we have on our boats out of the water.
Oh, yeah.
And so I think all you're seeing is a slow trickle from the military side to the civilian side of what Garmin's actually doing in underwater sonar technology for the military. So that's my opinion on that.
I'm not going to argue that. My wife, well, I'm sure you've heard her making a ruckus in here. Her cousin is in Space Force, and he has
No
told
way,
me,
really?
yeah,
That's
he's really
awesome.
smart, and he's told me some wild stuff about sonar and technology, and I would
Wasn't
agree
there a
that
TV show?
it's trickling.
It was a
Wasn't there a
TV
TV
show,
show?
and it was on Netflix, and it was very funny. It was good. It had Steve Carell. It was like The Office, but it was spaceport. It was spaceport.
You need to buzz in Randy Blockett to talk about this thing because I'm not qualified to talk about live scope and the downfall of bass fishing now.
I find this
don't
cool.
understand. It's the
but-
same thing that's already invented by other people.
No, it's not. No, it's not. Put
Explain
some
why,
research behind
Bailey.
it. Put some
Explain,
research
Bailey.
behind it, Ben. Come
Explain,
on now.
Bailey, why it's
Okay.
different.
Because it links
Yeah.
to your Minn Kota. I mean, I guess.
No. Hold on. Just give it a second, Ben. So yes, there are aftermarket stuff like this out there where you can have it like different from your trolling motor head. But the main like what badass design to this is it's called target lock because you can literally take this product and on your screen see a brush pile with fish on it. Click on your screen, click target lock. And you can take your trolling motor, do a full 360 without touching your forward-facing sonar, and that'll be panned on that same brush pile, the same fixation. So regardless of where you go, it'll be panned on that same spot.
So to reiterate what Bailey said and put it in a different way, because I know the way that he said it, I wouldn't have understood it unless my brain processed it the way that he just said it. What he means is like that thing will pinpoint on an object in the water totally separate from what your boat's doing. And so unlike where other turns where it turns back and forth and you can't lock it on something, that thing will lock on it and stay on it no matter what your boat's doing. So that means you can spot lock and still be looking at the brush pile that you want to fish totally separate from each other.
So
I
say,
think it's
Ben, you're
cool.
fishing.
If I could put my live scope on it, I would probably buy one just for the sake of having like the independent thing, plus all the benefits that Humminbird and Minn Kota are eventually going to come out with.
Like say, Ben, you got like a giant boulder that's got like 20 to 30 smallmouth on it and it winds blowing
just
20.
a boulder. It's
Just-
a rock.
You get above
also-
it, you spot lock, you can like pan it to the back, target lock, and then you're casting from behind the boat instead.
I also still love that technology, but at the same time, I just like because it's Humminbird and like even though Hummingbird's great at side imaging, I just want it to be better. I just want
What?
it to be better. I would love
Yeah, obviously
360
get better, but like it's better than Garmin.
If I can
and
put my
Lowrance
if I can
side
put my
imaging.
live scope on it, I would love it. That's all I have to say. Okay, now
Well,
we're
here's
talking
what-
clothing.
All right.
Okay, what are kayak shorts?
I have no idea. Something that make kayak folk feel special.
Yeah, they got
I have-
something special mesh down there. So when they're taking their they set their GoPros in the front of their yak. You don't see their sack falling out of the shorts.
I'll take that one as a personal offense. I like that forward. I like the GoPro up the shorts. All right, get a little bit of dick in there, and then you can sell your OnlyFans an inch at a time. I sell it for an inch at a time, and I ain't making much money, but man, I have fun. All right, let's keep on going. Okay, hold on. Let me see. Where is this Dad Jim shirt at? They've not got it on here, do they?
Are you talking about the Daiwa shirt?
No, the
Oh, it's at
AFCO
the bottom.
shirt.
They have
Is
an
it at the bottom?
Aftech shirt, and it literally changes temperature based on the temperature of your body.
I
So
got
like
one.
whether you're cold, it'll stay cold. Whether if you're cold, it'll warm up. If you're warm, it'll get cold.
No joke, I got one. Okay, I ordered one. It come in the mail the other day. As hot as Satan's ball sack here in East Tennessee. I put that thing on, and Bethany got here with the groceries, and I was out unloading the groceries with her. No joke. As soon as I started to get warm, that shirt started to get cool to the touch.
Whoa.
And when I walked back into the house where the air conditioning was running, as soon as I felt like just the nip of the air conditioning, that shirt started to get warm.
What?
I don't know how the hell they've done it, but they really have made a piece of clothing that adjusts to temperature.
So
And it's
if your nips get
biomaterial.
hard, will it start, warming up because it senses
Probably.
the tension?
Probably. Actually, they got little massagers in there that just start going wow, wow, wow. It's great, man, dude. You telling you what, son.
I like that Daiwa Bill Belichick hoodie, where it's like it's got the
damn.
sleeves cut out already for you.
I want one. I want one just because it's got. Yes, just like put the hood up,
I
get the
love
sleeves
that.
cut out, just let her rip, baby.
It's a
Um,
Reaper with the sleeves cut off.
That is
Exactly.
exactly what it is. That's exactly what it is. I'm demanding. I'm calling Matt up at AFCON and be like, listen, I want a Reaper with the sleeves cut out. I want the Bill. I want to call it the Belichick hoodie, and we're running with it, dude. Hey, I do have to say one thing before we get off here. AFCO just came out with a new pair of shorts called the I can't say it. It's ECONYL. Econol. I don't know. Anyway, they're made for big dudes like me who are a little bit chubby. It's got a stretchy band in the waist. I've got like 6 pairs of them now because like they actually fit me and I love them. But that was that. All right, boys.
I wish my patch shorts had a stretchy big waistband because I'm getting chunky.
Can somebody make pants like that though? Like I have like a skinny waist, giant freaking thighs, and then normal like calves. So it's like super tighter on the thighs, and then like 10 inches in front of me of waistband, and I can't find a single pair of pants regardless of brand that.
You do have some. You got some wheels on you, boy. Like it's something. I mean, he's built weird.
Mama
and the way he pedals that damn Hobie, he was like, I'll never forget. First day Hobie Open on Chick. Dude, I am pedaling as hard as I can possibly pedal. And I mean, old boy is over here just I mean, he's going, he had to be moving that damn Hobie at his 7 mile, 8 mile an hour. I mean, he was rolling. And all you see is just thigh. Just and there he goes. So the wheels work. They definitely work. They definitely work.
Hey,
all right, boys, listen, we've said it all tonight. I think we've said everything that can be said, from good penetration to bait fuel to butt plug to sexual lubricant. So, I mean, is there anything else that the people need to know about before we sign off of this thing?
Yeah, if you guys are interested in donating to support Caleb, go to alexruddfishing.com. That's what this entire live stream podcast was all about, is supporting Caleb and his medical bills and all the bills that he's going to be faced with. So alexruddfishing.com will be live until Sunday night. If you guys miss the opportunity to donate, go over to the Venmo that's going to be in the description below, which is directly going to Caleb Bell and Caleb's family. So
absolutely. Kevin, I appreciate you coming on, buddy.
Hey, man. Anytime, buddy. Go Big Orange. That's all I got to say.
That's right, man. We're going to have a good year this year. You know, we're ranked number 20.
You guys need to get Bill to dance on
right.
Just one time.
Old Bill.
I got to get you and Ben Bailey on one of my streams. Maybe I'll figure something out. I was going to stream Sunday, and I got to go back to work Monday, but I don't know what y'all's plans are. I'll reach out on Instagram if we want to have another Fatal 4-Way and maybe cover some hot topics.
Yes. I would love a good hot 4-way.
Game on.
All right, Bailey, I appreciate you too, buddy.
Anytime. Sorry I was a little ruthless with some of the stuff tonight, but
no, it was perfect. I'm sorry that I said butt plug on your channel. Ben, buddy,
that was fun. That was a great live stream.
You were here, and you were Ben, and that's all that matters.
That's right.
All right, people, for real. Love you guys. Thank you. We raised how much money, Bethany? How much?
Between 37 and 4,000.
Somewhere between something and something. How much? $3,800. So we raised $3,800 for Caleb tonight. That is absolutely incredible. So we just pushed his grand total well over into the $13,000-$14,000 range with just tonight. So that is absolutely amazing. That's the fishing community at its best. So love you guys for listening. Love you guys for watching. Love you guys for coming on here with me and doing this. And as always, you guys are sweet, and we will see you not next week because I'll be at ICAST, but the next week.